Hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's been a day or two.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Feels weird, right?
Yeah, no, it's been a long time.
So I know it also makes it really hard because I send you tons of stuff I want to talk about, all mixed in with other stuff that I send you.
Right.
I also like to talk about, but so
Yeah, I was actually just looking at the messages because I
you're
think
like,
there was
holy
a
shit.
there was a discussion you wanted to talk about that you had with somebody online earlier.
Oh yeah, I know we're gonna get to that. All
Okay.
that stuff that I sent you practically, I want to address.
Okay.
Just so people know, this is going to be still the same thing as before in a sense. It's going to be addressing hunter-gatherers and rethinking that and understanding and conceptualizing how they were more advanced. That this whole concept to me, like I said before many times, the pseudoscience, pseudoarchaeology stuff, pseudohistory has this flawed assumption like across the whole spectrum.
Right.
That hunter-gatherers can't do amazing things, which is a fucking lie because hunter-gatherers did amazing things and still do amazing things.
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's just completely fucking wrong. And also, as you know, in general, because I take a different approach, like my leftism is kind of like my own creation more than off of ethics.
Right.
Right, archaeology, which relates to what's ethical and valuable and good and worthy and true, and so because of that, of course, then my focus is different.
Right.
Like, say if you say people have rights, yes, I think that is true, and they have rights because they have, in a sense, what I say, self-ownership. But of course, that can be similar to a term that maybe a capitalist can use, that ownership. What I mean is you have self-sovereignty. I'm not talking about like a price on a person's body or something.
Right.
I'm talking about like just the concept. The reason I bring up I like to talk a lot of times, not that I don't think the leftism stuff is good, that people should read. I really haven't read a lot of it. I mean, what I do almost validates most of the shit I already thought anyways. But as you know, like, see, some people can get stuff intuitively. I kind of got it because I learned history and prehistory. And then learning that, I'm like, oh, fuck. And also that's why, like, my conception of capitalism is not limited to, like, the 1900s or whatever the hell bullshit. Speaking of which, and I want to get to that. So we're going to watch a video, which not yet though, but we're going to watch a video that addresses like semi-current, because the video may be a little old, 20 years old or something. So not current, but but still, I mean, nothing really has changed because there is a current blog that I also sent you. We're also going to get to, because all this relates to the same thing. I'm just trying to explain. All this relates to capitalism and how it destroys indigenous communities, and how it also, I feel, lowers their value so that they can then steal land with no, in a sense, legal obligation.
Right.
Or right? You get it? Or worse than that, as a typical capitalist, you actually work with the government to fuck the people that are below. So, what anarchists are obviously no great lovers of governments.
Right.
The governments constantly prove why that's a valid thing to fucking hate governments, but yeah. So, anyways, that doesn't mean I hate society. I know, and I don't claim to have any other one else's approach at it, but mine. And mine is that everything should be axiological. In other words, things should be offered that are true, that help and benefit society, not just one's personal fucking self, and especially at the detriment of society.
Right. Yeah.
What the fuck? And so I was having an argument before, and I've had it before, that, see, for me, I don't care. Like, you could tell me, right, Corey? I don't agree with this, but you could tell me, look, Damien, capitalism is the best economic system there has ever been in the history of the planet, will ever be the history. And I would go, yeah, well, see, my argument against it is ethical. So I could really give a fuck if it makes some billionaires money. I'm fucking serious about this. Yeah. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, I care about what is axiological and what is ethical. It is not fucking ethical to have billionaires while we have people starving. We have more billionaires in the United States than any country in the fucking world, practically combined, many times over. Okay,
right.
Even China, which I think actually maybe is now a little bit more than us, but they used to not be. But anyways, Of course, similar problem. It's not a socialism problem. It's not giving everything to everybody. It's actually hoarding wealth that you get to billionaires. And it's the mistake of, I would say, Marxist-Leninism's, what do they call it? State capitalism, or what do they call it that, but kind of is.
Yeah, their top-down approach.
Right, yeah. And they end up with guess what? A whole bunch of billionaires. Oh, fucking crazy. Yep. And guess what? It's like, I can't remember now, but it's like a humongous portion of the people that are in government. I wonder what's the correlation. How did that happen? Maybe what an anarchist would say, oh, it's the power. Dumb fuck. Yeah. It always is the power.
Yep.
If you can't trust people with freedom, how do you trust them with power?
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
And they literally show us that we should never trust people with power.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I feel like that's just an obvious anarchist truth. That no matter how much you want to deny it, it's fucking true. Power corrupts. Period. In a story, you don't need to make cliff notes.
It's just an obvious fact, right?
It's an obvious fact. It's always fact to me, just in philosophy or ethics or, I don't know, prehistory or history in general. So anyways, I'll go back to I don't believe like how the Capitalist. So I'm just going to read Capitalist real quick so that, we're on the same page.
Okay.
Capitalism is from Wikipedia, so I'm not doing anything special or fancy.
Okay.
Capitalism, an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production and their operation for the biggest problem, profit, especially because, profit over people. And anyway, so it is called, in a market system economy, decision is making, investment stands, the ownership of wealth, property, and maneuver of capital or production, capital and finance markets. Anyways, so market economy, going back to that, right? Yes. So first thing I sent you that I want to address, and I won't even expect you to have to go to it. People watching, I'm going to put a picture that shows, and I did actually send this to you, and I even put the date so people can know. It was on August 4th of 2024 at 10:30 a.m. Anyways.
Okay.
So the thing I wanted to address was, it was a new article that just came out, and it says the Neolithic Equalitarianism, a unique society of dietary equality. Ancient societies revealing evidence of a Neolithic community where men, women, and immigrants enjoyed equal status to food. I don't know, Corey. See what I'm saying about ethics? Doesn't that just sound ethical? Like that's the fucking. That's what I'm saying. It's just, to me, it's really hard. I won't even listen to people like, well, if I explain capitalism, you get okay. You're never going to explain to me how being unethical is ethical. It just is not going to fucking happen.
Yeah, it just doesn't work, right?
So, like people always try to say to me, "Oh, well, Damien, anarchism is never going to happen. People are selfish." And I'm like, that's like saying we shouldn't have laws or try to stop rape because rape will just happen.
People are just going to do it anyway. So we
just
might as
deal
well
with
not
it.
care.
Yeah. Fuck bullshit. We don't have to deal with it. Did you know that there are African societies that actually don't have a government, don't have leaders, and everyone's treated equal? I know this is scary. They almost have no rape. Oh, I wonder if there's a correlation. You think? And I guess the other thing too is that in those societies, generally children are almost equal to adults. The only individuals that are even a little bit of it just shows. My point is, so if we just took a clue from, I don't know how things actually are, I would go, it looks like if you have a real selfish society like America, and then you have access to guns, you go do mass killings and murders because guess what they really want? To kill people? No. Fame.
Yep. Or you want to make up for the powerlessness that you experience in your day-to-day life.
Oh, Corey gets it. Corey gets it, right? Because the society is horrible. And then we wonder why, I don't know, people have horrible reactions.
Yeah, exactly.
In a society where everyone's equal, including children having rights, crazy, right? I mean, anarchists were going, yeah, of course. Please explain why that shouldn't be the case and how that would be ethical to not be the case.
Right.
Anyways, that's why I said, for me, it's all ethical because I became an anarchist not because I wanted to be edgy or cool. I became an anarchist. I was like, fuck, that's the ethical position.
Yeah.
So anyways, I know we don't have any big argument about this, Corey. But I just wanted to make a comment. So, going to about what other people think of capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just want to address, like, when it supposedly, happened or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So it says that capitalism in its modern form, I love how they state that, because guess what? Then that would mean, Corey, there's a non-modern form.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's
Anyways,
right.
so I don't know why he would argue with me anyways about capitalism being older. Like, literally in Wikipedia, it fucking says the newer form. Yeah, right. Because there's fucking older ones. And to me, anyway, so I don't want to, anyway, it talks about, mercantilism or whatever in city states in Florence. All right. I believe it's way older than that. And to back that up, let's go to another thing I sent to you. And that was on July 29th, 2024 at 6:57 p.m.
Okay.
That was how they've now, I don't know, Corey, it's really crazy when science kind of backs up what Damien feels, when they're like, hey, we looked at all these Bronze Age hoards, and they hint that market economies arose surprisingly early.
Yeah.
And so it says, an analysis, of course, those matter, right? 20,000 metal objects, which is a few, from Bronze Age Europe, mainly Germany, by the way, but anyways, or whatever, maybe it's Austria too, suggests that human economic behavior may have not changed much in the last 3,500 years.
Yeah.
Right. Which I've addressed too, just like we addressed in Egypt, right at 4,500.
Yep.
Also had the first labor strike for not being paid.
Yep.
Right. So going back to, I feel like that's what I'm saying. I feel like that this, like, thought, and I don't know that everyone feels that capitalism is young, but I sure as fuck don't.
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of people place it in that, like, because they don't consider feudalism capitalism. They consider that a different system, which is, I guess, whatever.
Well, I see it as a different organization of capitalism. It's
of
like
the same,
corporatism is still capitalism.
Right.
It's not capitalism. It's just
that's right.
Or laissez-faire or state capitalism. Yeah, these are all capitalism. Yeah, it's just different, like, organizations of the cap. Okay, so you pick a different hierarchy. Okay, cool, bro. I'm an anarchist. I fucking am really against hierarchy. So
yeah, that's right. Like, ultimately, call it whatever the fuck you want.
Right?
These are all
what you fucking want.
Unjust power systems. Yeah.
But remember also, Damien's main axiological thing would be real simple. I don't care what you call a thing. I want to hear how you treat the most vulnerable people.
Yeah.
Because that tells me all I need to fucking know.
Yeah.
Seriously. If you treat vulnerable people like shit, I don't even need to know a fucking thing about anything else. You have a shit system I don't want nothing to do with. Seriously.
That's right.
Fuck you.
Yep. For sure.
People are starving in the streets. Fucking kids can't eat. Oh, what the fuck?
Then you're doing something wrong. That's it.
Wrong. If you're so America's the greatest economy. It produces all these mega billionaires. Wonderful. So there must be no one lives in the street. Oh, there should be no kid that doesn't have breakfast, lunch, and dinner paid for at the school's expense.
Yep,
colleges should be free, right? This is the land of billionaires.
That's right.
Oh, what the fuck? People fucking starving. Oh, living in their cars. Oh, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it seems so clear, the distinction, right? I'm surprised that it has to be argued for, honestly.
But it obviously does. And that's what I've told you before. See, some people, like, say some anarchists or socialists, whatever, they try to stick to just anarchists or socialist friends, which I think would be cool, because then we could all agree and just,
sure,
be wise together. But for me, I want to talk to to within reason. I cut the line at, like, because to me, axiologically, if I hear you don't give a fuck about human rights, we're done.
Yeah, no,
I don't care what other label, like far leftist or far rightist, what centrist, what, because see, Hitler was a centrist. So the far right issue being a monster, you could have monsters. Stalin, I feel, is a monster, and or did monstrous things. Hitler is absolutely a monster in multiple fucking ways.
Yep.
But then you have you'd say, people on the right that are far right that are fucking lunatics. All these, it doesn't really matter where on the spectrum. If you don't value human rights, it's hard for me to feel like we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
What the fuck? So going back to what I said, but that's why I told you, because I'm an axiologist, how I approach things is always going to be sort of leaning on value centric. But I would say for me, it just seems like like you said, how do you look at that and not go, yeah, values matter, ethics, honor matters.
Yeah, that's
being
right.
a good human being matters.
That's kind of the whole point, isn't it?
But right, I know. Like I said, I know that I bring up such hard subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, I think it's really important, and that's why I try to talk about this stuff and also approach it in a way that I feel like is not being, heard correctly.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And so now that we've kind of talked about, before we get to the video, let's address the dumb fuck.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The person of low desire to be intelligent or speak or think ethically, or I don't know. Yeah.
This person who is apparently very ignorant of what they're talking about, right?
Right. So we're going to go through them. I'll show them on the screen when we do the video. So you're on the same page of where we're at, where it says two Marxists, anti-human filth like yourselves.
Yeah.
So God. So someone, I don't remember now exactly to my top, but it was some sort of like maybe Murray Rothbard or maybe it was Jordan Peterson or something. I don't know. Some scumbag. Anyways, they had some scumbag on the right up, a picture or something, and I said, "Yeah, that guy's scum."
Yeah.
And then he goes that this was his response to me saying that, right? Me calling someone on the right who is scum, calling him scum. I mean, yeah,
that's it.
You should be happy I don't use other words.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so so go ahead and you read him and then say what I said to him.
Sure. So he says, "To Marxists, anti-human filth like yourselves, sure he is," meaning the person you called scum. "You are a Marxist communist. Your ideology is anti-human race. Nothing you say holds any validity." So then you replied, "Please explain what makes someone a Marxist or a communist. Did you know that there is not a non-Marxist communism? I'm an anarchist, anti-authoritarian, socialist/communist, and I have never even cared to read anything on Marxism other than scanning Wikipedia."
Which I know doesn't make the Marxists super happy when they hear that. And I just go, have you heard my ethics? Do you really think I need to learn better ethics?
Well, and yeah, no.
I mean, if you feel like that I'm lacking that we need to have authoritarians, well, then we're never going to agree.
Exactly.
If you're saying that I can hate capitalism more, I don't know if that's possible.
Right.
So yeah, because I hear you guys always talk about how this and that and economy this, and I just go, that shit's unethical.
Yeah,
I'm not going to even argue with you. It's fucking not, and then we can leave it there. And can you show me how it is? How profits over people is the way to go? Is that the humanity flourishing? How about the fact that it wants to rape the planet for its own fucking gain?
Yeah.
Or how about the fact that it wants to take pleasure trips into fucking space? Do you realize that everybody on the earth could all fucking care about global warming and all watch the plastics and everything, and one dickhead sends a fucking spaceship and it blows more fucking carbons and shit into the atmosphere than all of us and the whole earth combined?
Yeah.
Or I think it's like 4 years or some shit, like the whole earth. It's like fucking just one trip up.
Yeah, it's absurd.
And he wants to do this like all the time and make money for capitalism, sending people to fucking space while we pollute the earth beyond measure. I mean, it should be fucking illegal to let that bastard send shit up.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, well, anyways.
You're not going to get me to disagree with that.
Speaking of that bastard, fucking that goddamn Musk trying to fucking start World War III and shit. he's a piece of fucking human
Oh,
garbage.
yeah.
But like people say, and I put obvious, that capitalists will always favor fascists over socialists or anarchists because we want people to have power. Literally, capitalism is a fucking Ponzi scheme. That's why, you know, you have to have people in power. I mean, there's no such thing as a non-hierarchical capitalism.
Yeah, like they're stealing. They need to support the fascists because the fascists will support the business, which will keep the money flowing, right?
Right, the corporate, you know, fucking welfare.
Yeah.
Anyways,
which obviously socialism doesn't do.
Right, what shouldn't do? But that's why, to me, I think it's crazy when someone says, "Well, you know, China is communist." Right, with now before the world's second number of billionaires, but now the world's number one area of billionaires. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what socialism fucking you've been reading.
Yeah,
but if people don't own the means of production, or how about this? If the whole society is not benefited, to me, there should be no billionaires. It's just, I hear that, I always know, something's fucked.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as.
Yeah, and I think, like, me and Justin were kind of talking about this a little bit last night, and I think people make the mistake of thinking like that because a country does certain things better than the United States, then that country is automatically good. And that's not how things work. Like, China does some things better than the United States, but not all things. And it's not good. And, you know, like, it's still an authoritarian nightmare.
Well, and that goes back to, like I said, see, and you keep saying good, which I agree. Good is an axiological judgment that we come to, that something is accurate to what is worthy.
Right.
So I mean, someone's making a comment. This is real important for kids, you know, for the class to remember, because the video we're going to watch how people don't use human value and actually care only about profits. It's gross.
Ugh.
And I think it's beneficial. That's why we're going to watch it, because I watch it and I go, oh my God, this is like watching what happened to the Native Americans or any other indigenous. You listen to these because they explain how they're not praying. Literally, right. They have no religion. We're not stopping them from religion. They have no religion. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the shit like, oh, well, we made them all cut their hair. Why? Oh, because we don't want anyone to look different.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
this is they have a recording video. We're gonna watch this. He actually fucking says that. The government goes, yeah, we're gonna cut all their hair off. We outlaw their shamans because, yeah, we only allow 4 religions in this country. I'm like, yeah, there you go, fascism. Woo, imperialism. Yeah, that's how to do it. Colonize, fucking dickheads. Anyway,
no kidding.
But it's real good, I think, because it gives you more of experience. So then, of course, the other capitalist supporter. What else did he say?
So he said that's what Marxism, communism is. They come from Satanism, the denial of property, even of your own body, to the state. If Hitler did all that they say, then by all means, fuck him. The problem is there's a lot of inconsistencies and not nearly the same outrage for the Holodomor. And you said, if Hitler did all that they say, I'm sorry, what is this nonsense? Few people have been as studied as Hitler. Anyone even doubting his evil makes me doubt their humanity.
Right. Tell me where that's wrong.
No, that's 100% right.
Right?
If somebody says, if Hitler did all that they say, that's a Holocaust denier right there. That person's a fucking scumbag, right?
See? Right? Right. We don't have to fucking guess. We can axiological judge. Well, that's why I said, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this nonsense?
Hold the fuck up. Yeah.
Mike, I don't even need to keep debating. You just said, I'm going to address that axiologically. The fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But also, just so you know, this is also connected. This person was having an argument at first before this nonsense because they were trying to say the ancient society, did stuff and not say indigenous people. So this is where it started. This shit actually was about hunter-gatherers. So it really relates to this thing. Okay. Like I've told you before, Corey, everybody keeps not like me before. I thought, oh, those conspiracy theories about history are stupid. Atlantis, dumb. I know it's bullshit. At least it's not, I thought, not as harmful or related to like the Bible and religion where they actually hate gays. I don't know. People were like, Atlantis is real. I hate gays. You get what I'm saying? I thought before, not realizing, oh yeah, those think Atlantis is real. Let me tell you a clue. They think that not just the hunter-gatherers are primitive and stupid and couldn't do anything. It's that they also needed the great white race to go and save the world. And actually, it's white culture everywhere. And we did it all the pyramids, all the stuff, all the technology was stolen by brown people. Yeah,
it's
part of that disgusting racist. And guess what? If you were wondering if I'm right that this dude's a racist and a fucking, listen to him. And do you think that I'm saying that these people that are, this alternative history bullshit and, I'm just asking questions about ancient cultures. Yeah, you mean ancient white cultures?
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't have any relation to the indigenous, that taught the indigenous because you believe that white people are better. You see what I'm saying? There's so much racism. And of course, then also that side, the alternate history would probably like to come down and say all kind of bullshit because they always get mad. Oh, we're not racist. We're just trying to find out the truth. Motherfucker, you're not. I present truth like fucking all the time. I explain it when you say, oh, it's this, that, magical. And I'm like, look, here's how it happened. Like, speaking of which, right now I'm going to send you so we can show in the video, and then we can talk about it real quick because I know you had a vacation. Speaking, it still relates to everything.
Sort of, yeah.
So you had a vacation, sort of, and you're with Pam, your partner, and Pam has to do with the Bantu expansion in Africa, her related DNA and linguistics. So, which I find really interesting because, of course, I've studied all this stuff, and what I had found out or paid more attention to because I wanted to find out about the Bantu expansion because I want to do videos with us about Africa, all of it, like not just like one little dot and then think that we explained everything.
Right.
And one little dot in time too. They were like one little dot in time, magic. It seemed magical if you only give history like that.
That's right.
So, anyways, I'm going to send you two. So I'm going to send you one that has to do with where I think they come from, the pyramids, which we've already talked about. Just real quick so we can go over this. Because if people think they want to understand, I'm literally fucking showing you the most likely thing. I mean, do I know 100%? These cultures related. I know the DNA relates and their mythology and their kind of structures are similar. I mean, at that point, I don't know. It's certainly better than Graham Hancock, who literally admits, I have no evidence.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know who you're going to take the word for, but go ahead, Corey. So you see that one real quick, just to show you. So I show the different arrows, right? The idea is the yellow is the DNA.
Okay. Yep.
The DNA and some of the culture. The white arrow has to do with pottery. Though they went the same ways, they didn't come from the exact same source. Once again, see how Graham Hancock gets things wrong? It's not the same source. I mean, or people think. But why is it that my stuff, which I explain in detail and I can show with DNA and cultural movements and pottery and ideas, is not interesting because they want.
It doesn't make people feel amazing. Yeah, it doesn't make white people feel superior.
Right, yeah. So then it goes to the one that as an S, right? Syria has a circle and has an S. That is a 7,000-year-old pre-Kurgan. Okay. Right. And Kurgans have to do with burial mounds and has to do with elites and kings later, and also to the sky god, which I think actually probably is right here too, sky god.
Okay.
Right. And so anyways, then the arrow goes down. So it goes down to the Cossack Mountains where it's M, right? The M culture and the L culture, those two cultures.
Yep.
Even though L actually is the culture, M is like an offshoot of it, sort of.
Oh, okay.
Because the 6,000-year-old Kurgan for M is actually older than the culture. The culture is like 5,000 something. So, or 5,600 or 700 or something. So it's the literal pyramid mound is older than the culture is. But anyways.
Right. Interesting. Jeez.
But anyways, I'm just showing they're together though. They're related to the actual S. And S, if you go back to where the yellow is, you see halfway, there's a red circle, and that is a 7,000-year-old Kurgan there. So you see that it goes from there, from Western Siberia over to above the Cossack Mountains, then down to the Cossack Mountains. And then from there, you see there's two arrows. One goes down to, on the right-hand side, goes down to Mesopotamia, Iraq. And that's the Sumerians, and that's a 6,000-year-old temple mound.
Okay.
And then see the other arrow goes over, and then also people from there go over to Egypt. See, there are two different ways.
Yep.
Right. And then Egypt, the madrasa thing, that is like a kurgan sort of. It's like a flat, long one. But anyways, in burial tomb, and eventually the first like step pyramid, they can see like how it was built, right? The inside, like by X-ray or whatever. It was a madrasa thing, which is like a long pyramid or like long mound sort of on top of a barrel.
Okay.
Like a monument or something. Then they made a bigger one. Then they made a small pyramid, and then they made the actual bigger pyramid. So it shows also that it wasn't like aliens came and they knew what they were doing. They literally were like fucking trial and error.
Right. Yeah. They did a thing, and then they built a bigger version of it, kind of.
Is that right? So you could literally see that this is fucking human created, and not like the people, Graham Hancock or these racists like this guy we're talking to, think that somehow white people did this and it was all advanced technology given 20,000 years ago or whatever nonsense.
Yeah.
It's just ludicrous. But anyway, so I try to show what it is and explain, right? So this is the one. So you get the idea of what's going on. And then these brown thing or whatever, dark, burgundy, those are fortifications in Western Siberia. They start 8,500. And then the other ones in Europe, those little bit lighter ones, those are 7,000 years old, and they come from Western Siberia, inspired. I think probably the beginning of the invasions, because from 7,000 to 5,000 is male clans going out and murdering or castrating or whatever, enslaving the males to where they can't have sex with the women. So it became one man for every 17 women all over that area. But so once again, that also is explained everything else and is a sequence of stuff, not like Graham Hancock, where these random people that we don't know and we don't have evidence and did this things, and this culture is able to do all this, but I can't show it, and there's no I mean, yeah, I don't know why that is so much more interesting than what I show and I'm explaining. It's complicated as all fuck, but it can be explained, and it's not fucking magical.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just culture. So I'll send you another one. This is the one that relates more to Pam's stuff, like DNA and also cultural ideas. Let me see. But like I said, Corey, I really care about all this because this helps people understand, what really happened, and try to understand too that, power took over, and this is how it happened.
Yeah.
So I sent you the other one, right? So this is about the Green Sahara.
Okay.
And this is around Green Sahara is like 15,000 until like I think it's 5,500 or 6,000 years ago. Anyway, so the top picture you see where that's the red arrow. That's R1B. That's coming actually originally from Siberia.
Okay.
And it comes all the way down there to Lake Chad 8,000 years ago. And then almost all African cultures, or massive amounts of them, relate to that happening.
Okay.
Those people's beliefs, they were sexist, and they had Sky God and Earth Mother or different stuff like that. And they were shamanist and totemist, and they brought that stuff to Africa.
Okay.
And then if you look at the one below it, the next picture, the darker circle, the burgundy, that also comes from the Middle East, but that's JDNA. It's JP58 or / they also call it J1E.
Okay.
That's 10,000 years old, and that goes from basically sort of like Syria, Palestine, Jordan, whatever, all the way down to North Africa.
Okay.
In a sense, it's the same people I'm talking about 10,000 years ago, and they were agriculturalists. And when they came, they brought agriculture into North Africa. And agriculture in North Africa happens to be, guess what, 10,000 years old, just like the age of the DNA. Because I don't know, the crazy thing is when people move, I don't know, ideas, as we've already talked about this many times, Corey, move with people. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
Literally not like magical. It's just, yeah.
People have their brains with them when they walk, and
Right.
those brains hold ideas. Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, so they come and they bring new ideas and new stuff, and that changes African cultures. That white stuff in the center, that white circle, to me, that relates to the 8,000 people, right? The
Okay.
R1B, like the nucleus. And then the white arrows are showing how they went to all over the place and affected all these cultures. They
Right.
turn into, or are a part of, not the only part, but a part of what becomes Egypt. Egypt wouldn't be nothing without these people going over there.
Right.
And they went over there 5,500 years ago. And the first pharaoh is 5,150.
Okay.
So once again, don't need Graham Hancock. You don't need to wonder.
Right.
I'm showing you this is how it happened. The ideas came from out of Africa, shot into Africa, moved around, grabbed some African ideas, and then went over and became Egypt. But they also went down and became Bantu. They're also involved in you see not far from where it says the pyramid and Sphinx. Those things are so degraded. They could be 5,000, they could be 4,500, somewhere around there. But they're all destroyed in a sense, so they don't. It's hard to see what they used to look like. In the side of that white thing, there's an 8,500-year-old boat.
Oh, neat.
Right, that was found. That's that, and it looks like that. Anyways, so I'm just saying, it shows all these different things. So then this orange circle, this is another African culture, 3,500 years ago, and that's a little figurine they would make. Anyways, and then also where it went, right, it goes over to Cameroon, has the oldest iron smelting at 4,000 years ago. But you see that these people are highly involved in why all this is happening.
Yeah.
And some of that happens also from climate. It's not just these people did stuff, it's also climate. And it also, I think people understand that just because they leave, they don't all leave with the exact same thing. Because if you notice, not every single line is touching the same part, just showing that all of them are related. But you have different clans, and guess what? They have different thinking.
Yeah.
So the ones that go to Egypt will not be 100% same as the one that went over to West Africa and make the Yoruba religion. No, because one clan obviously was more sexist and one was more feminine. So you have a difference between mother and father ideas or whatever. So it changes, just making a point, that changes, even though they all kind of come from the same thing, it would still be wrong to be like Graham Hancock and these people thinking it's one monolithic.
Right.
It's not even monolithic in the thing. Different clans, just like it's like the Christians and the Catholics and all the other versions of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. People get hooked on a certain thing and then they want to do it that specific way. It doesn't mean it's not related to Christianity.
Right, exactly. It still had a similar root
similar root, right. And that's the important thing. And that similar root goes all the way back to Siberia, So anyways, I just wanted to show that this different stuff, to me, it's more interesting, but
for sure.
But so to show that these cultures are real advanced and people are moving around is why. But like I said, going back to that person, the reason that I felt it's important to talk about this in this video, like I said, is because he had these bigoted ideas, and I as you know, I want to show that they're wrong. They're not like I maybe think they're wrong, as we already showed you. I know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
So. Anyways, let's go back to him again.
Okay. So I guess the next one.
Yeah, it says you're literally retarded.
Yeah. Communism means stealing the means of production to producers using violence through an authoritarian state. That's not what it means at all. Anti-authoritarian communist is an oxymoron. Nope. How do you plan to enforce the abolition of property without authoritarianism, you dunce? So Damien replies, I get it. You lack education. And then, quote from Wikipedia, a communist society would entail the absence of private property and social classes and ultimately money and the nation state or nation state.
Right. So I don't know who's right, Corey.
Definitely not him.
Right?
Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
So let's see. Round 2. So the alternative history person was wrong on history.
Yeah.
Right. Also wrong in thinking it's Damien, it may be possible, and I've now showed you what they say is fucking not possible.
Right.
Okay. So no. It is complicated, but I have put little slides together to make it easier.
Right.
Because I know you get hammered with all this detail sometimes. It feels overwhelming, or your mind numbs, and also you may not, like me, see the way things connect. Mm-hmm. But when I present, like, here's the evidence that explains what that picture is, do you see that? Wow, that's probably the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Or certainly a good candidate. But that's what I'm saying. And here's this person just talking nonsense. But I also felt it was a good experience because I do think it is important too to look at, like we already talked at the beginning, how you can have an anarchist society, like I said, in Africa, and rape is unheard of.
Yeah.
And then you have an American society where your kids aren't even safe in school with other kids. They bring machine guns and murder them. I mean, it's
right, eh? Yeah.
Fucking nuts. But of course, we teach our kids to hate trans people and hate gays and don't respect women and fucking all kinds of other fucking things. No, hate immigrants and just it's fucking gross.
Yeah. No, it's a mess.
Corey's like, I don't know.
It's a mess.
It's a mess, right? All right. So what did he say? How do you? He's trying to show me I'm wrong.
How do you entail the absence of private property? Do you think people are going to willingly give their stuff to you, or the government willingly? And then you said, good, now you seem ready to learn. And then you shared your
like how I keep dignity attacking his ass?
Yeah. We need a system for the people, of the people, for the people. When did greed become an ethical way to make a good society? We should be as ethical as humans is what you're asking. Yes, we have an ethical obligation to act with honor. And you have your piece
Corey's
of art.
Okay, I disagree, Damien. Hard.
Yeah. Yeah. You have your piece of art talking about hierarchy, a hierarchy from the Greek hierarchia, rule of a high priest, from hierarchies, leader of sacred rites.
Right, and then I showed a picture that shows the oppressive bullshit that is hierarchy.
Yeah.
And then, by the way, the thing at the bottom, that's not, I probably should have put like a citation or something, but it's like me paraphrasing sort of a psychology paper about oppression from authority or whatever. And how it really is a detriment to us. But anyways, go ahead and read it.
Sure. From a psychological perspective, it is clear that there are enormous societal forces operating to produce considerable psychological difficulties for oppressed groups. Some of these difficulties may be directly related to mechanisms of control.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So once again, is he right or am I right that
he doesn't even? Yeah, like this is the thing. He doesn't even know what he's actually talking about. Entail the absence, like that's. I'm generally pretty forgiving about the way people speak, but that sentence doesn't make any fucking sense. You don't entail the absence of private property. That's not how that.
But to me, when he means by entail, he means like it's a logical given. Like if you do this, then the logical outcome is this. Like if I say, when people say, "Well, how could we make America just in one thing better?" That would, from an anarchist perspective like mine, and I would say, eliminate all single things. All of them. In every fucking place, every job, everywhere, everything should be by the mass of the people and direct democracy as much as possible. I mean, and they're always looking like, whoa, that's crazy, you know.
And in his second sentence here, do you think people are going to give their stuff to you or to the government willingly? This is a conflation here where he imagines that in order for it to be a free society, it has to be free from violence against those who oppress us. And that's not how freedom works.
Yeah.
We're allowed to take their stuff.
Self-defense is warranted. I think it still should be measured. Self-defense
Sure.
should not mean me just, killing people's babies because it's the most effective way to make people feel terror.
Yeah, like the French Revolution, for example. Like they started off guillotining all the elites and all the wealthy and whatnot, and they got almost addicted to guillotining people. So then they're doing everybody who disagrees with the group, they're getting the guillotine, because violence kind of begets violence in that way, right?
Right, which is also why I say that the most important thing is actually to build society that's ethical.
Yeah. And
then that's
self-defense is going to be part of that, and taking from their ill-gotten gains, taking that is going to be part of that, because it's ill-gotten.
Well, and what goes back to my other thing, though. Let's just say that we're in a natural disaster, because the people have an easier time grasping the ethics. I don't know why that doesn't just appeal to all the time.
Right.
Should.
Yeah.
But let's just go there, right? So if I'm in a natural disaster and all the power's out and stuff, and I can't get help for, say, 5 days, and I'm right next to a Quickie Mart, the power's out, but there is stuff in there that could be eaten, and I have nothing, right? Because I'm like in the water or something. And I go in there and break in there, and I get food without paying, right? I get food, and then they want to put me in jail,
right?
For trying to survive.
Yeah, is that ethical? No.
You know what I'm saying? It isn't. Is it? It so obviously isn't. Or how about this? Because capitalism have no problem with this, right? What if capitalists, every time that there is a natural disaster, buys all the businesses in the area and makes them sell nothing, right? Because the goal is, then you have the only bottle of water, and I'm sorry, it's going to be $50 a bottle of water.
Yeah, that's right. So anybody who can't pay $50 for a bottle of water,
and I'm not doing anything unethical. I bought all the stores so to make them go on vacation. Told them all go on vacation. So I'm the only one that sells water, and I will sell it at a price that is profit driven.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
You realize right there, there's literally ethically something wrong with capitalism to me, or you should that's fucked up. Yeah, well, there's absolutely nothing.
And
that would be making good market share, right?
I imagine that this guy would say, well, he owns that water. He has the right to sell it for whatever price he wants.
And I would say everyone as a society has the right to steal that fucking water.
Exactly. Then we all have the right to steal it from you. Like, get out of here.
You get what I'm trying to say? Because my thing would go back to society needs to be ethical.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not going to like how do you deal with rape? I don't know. I would say you can't do rape. And then what do you need really to make a law? Sure. I literally have no problem making a law.
And there's consequences and there has to be a set of consequences when people do these things.
Correct. But I'm just making a comment. They act like as an anarchist that my problem is with any law. No, my problem is with lack of ethics. And society absolutely is not. And then we say these, police are just enforcers for capital, have nothing to really do with ethical. Yeah, they have a problem with that, of course.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's go on this thing. So the picture is trying to show that, right? That I'm saying that anarcho-humanism, just the idea that people should be equal. I know it's crazy, and that this means equality. Yeah. So you can go to the next one, because I was just trying to explain, not just for him, but for everybody. Look, this is what anarchism is. At least it is to me.
Right.
And if Corey has a problem with it, he's more, book read anarchist. If he has a problem with what I say, please speak up. And you can say, from your book learned anarchist perspective, this is how you see it, if it's so different. But I'm just saying, like I told you, stuff from my perspective, because I do what's fucking ethical. Like I told you, what I love about anarchism is most of the shit that I say, I look at them and I'm like, it's just ethical all over the place. And
right.
How can I not feel like I'm an anarchist? You're the one that they told me I should read about it, practically. So, and I like, I'm totally on board with that shit.
Yeah. So he says, you can't eliminate hierarchy without violence, oppression, and an authoritarian government. You want to eliminate hierarchy by imposing a more extreme hierarchy. You are literally, and then he uses a slur for disabled people.
So right on that note, the R word, he's also a scumbag. I mean, just literally how he's talking to me, total scumbag.
Yeah, that's right. So then you reply, hierarchy without violence, oppression, and an authoritarian government. And then you share your art showing chiefdoms and hierarchies of control.
Right. Because not all of them had violence. Not
Right.
all of them had mass oppression. And not all of them had a total authoritarian government. Of
Yeah.
course, generally the small ones. But
yeah, generally.
not these complex fucking, when it's more like a family like group, and it's kind of like you're protecting each other, and there's a leader that has earned it because they care. It's totally different than at the end one where it's a king, right? You see like how the transition. I mean, that's the whole point of the art too, is that you can see the transition, right? It starts out at just one thing that's a simple one. See, it says simple chieftain.
Yep.
And then it just starts becoming like totally crazy and shit. And then at the last one is kings. And it's just explaining what a king is and how elite are part of the clans and stuff. And then how it relates to the older clan and supreme chieftain systems. Anyways. But then he decides to pick on my art on top. And just remember too, I get zero pay for doing this art. I do all this art and all this stuff because I want to transmit ideas. So sometimes I really don't give a fuck and I just draw some goofy ass shit because I really care less about making hierarchy look great. It's a fucking cartoon fucking behavior to me. And it doesn't, warrant me giving a fuck about making it look cool. So just saying. I mean, so yeah.
I just briefly, I want to touch on like the idea that you can't eliminate hierarchy without violence. Sure, sometimes those who want to impose a hierarchy on us are going to fight against us and we have to defend ourselves and we might have to deal with that in a violent way.
True.
But eliminating hierarchy is eliminating oppression. So he's just wrong. He doesn't even know the definitions of the words he's using in this one. And then you can't eliminate hierarchy without an authoritarian government. That's nonsense also. Like that's just like that's not what's happening here. You can eliminate hierarchy, and part of that is not having an authoritarian government. If you have an authoritarian government, you haven't eliminated hierarchy. Like he's just contradicting himself within his own points.
Yeah, well, that's like when people try to tell me, "Oh, well, you can't have direct democracy." I'm like, are you saying you can't have democracy? Oh, no, you can have democracy, just not direct democracy. I'm like, do you know how fucking stupid you sound?
Yeah, no.
Really?
Actually, it's funny that people think that you can't have direct democracy when there's actually ballot initiatives in the United States. What the fuck do you think that is?
You can't make people decide to think.
That's true.
I wish that was possible because I know people would think differently.
Yeah.
And I have often made people think, which is a big goal of mine. I'm not a skeptic, so I'm not trying to make people doubt. I want people to do deep thinking. I want people to really start thinking more. I really feel like we just do everything from emotions. We're not thinking about what we're doing it. We're not doing stuff with meaning, stuff where we could look back and say, wow, I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud of the videos that you and me did from the beginning.
For sure.
Even the first one. There's never been a bad video.
Yeah,
but also I feel like we're addressing really important subjects. So how could it for me ever be bad?
Yeah, that's right, eh? Yeah. From as ethical a place as we can and from as an informed place as we can. So
I 100% agree with that. Yeah. And how can that be a bad goal?
Yeah.
Or bad goals. Yeah, exactly. So then of course he has comment on stuff. So what do you say now?
So he says, okay, you're free to share your stuff. What about the people that won't want to share their stuff? And you reply, what do we want? What do we do to people who steal? What gives one a right to wealth while most of humanity starves? Do you think that all wealth was made without unethical means?
Yeah, he doesn't actually answer those questions, by the way.
No, I don't imagine he would. And he says, the majority of normal
my point, going back to the beginning, so I'll answer his stuff because I didn't want to talk to a fucking troll.
Yeah.
So, but my point is, so what would I do if Elon Musk doesn't want to share his stuff while humanity starves. I would say I would be totally cool with stealing that shit from him.
Yep.
That's
yep, absolutely.
That. What is my answer? That. And why? Because humanity deserves it. That's why. I'm not gonna fucking. There used to be things called Good Samaritan laws, where if you were near someone and you could help them to like not die, and you didn't, you could actually get in trouble. Right. So, once again, ethically, because if there is someone you could help and you don't, even if there wasn't a law, aren't you kind of like a piece of shit?
Yeah, for
just
sure.
Think, every billionaire is doing that. So by default, they're all pieces of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have the means to fix and help fix multiple problems and help all the people, and you just instead you hoard all your wealth and resources in your bank account and in your home, and you buy bigger boats and bigger houses. Like it's the opposite of ethical. So
exactly. Right. It's like we have the ethical side.
Yeah.
I'm not saying crazy shit here. How is it ethical to let children starve when we have a nation of the biggest amount of billionaires? The fuck?
It's just not. It's just not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess his next comment.
Yeah, because he never answered my question, but he tried to come up with me. He still thinks he's going to get me. But go ahead.
The majority of normal people. Yeah, the majority of normal people that own stuff now have worked all their lives for what they have. They haven't stole it from anyone. What gives you the right to steal it from them? This is why you are anti-human scum. You should be on a mental asylum. I'm not fixing his fucked up wording. He just doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, this is a 12-year-old you're arguing with. So you reply, it is the majority of normal people that own stuff now have worked all their lives for what they have that we should all care about and are not under threat by anarchists. It is the wealthy that have wronged us all with wage slavery and wage theft. And then you shared your art.
Well, right? I mean, but
that's that. No, that nails it right on the head. Like nobody's coming for your TV. Nobody's coming for your toothbrush. Nobody's coming to take your home out of your hands. But if you own multiple homes and somebody's homeless, we might put someone in that home.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that we can no longer allow that sort of inhumanity.
Yeah.
We just can't.
Yeah. So then you have a piece of art, anarcho-humanism. A good heart thrives on helping others, whereas a bad heart only cares for itself.
Right, and didn't read the purple. I don't know if you can read it down there.
Let's see. Anarcho-humanism to me is atheistic humanism with a unconditional social awareness. It is very small on my screen.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I even explained anarcho for people, anarchism, and I said no gods, no masters.
Yeah.
Because just to understand, the people that even if you want to be religious and say you believe in theism, you still really should be saying no gods, as in no God rules over others' lives.
Yeah.
This is not an atheist theism question.
Right.
Or as anarchism involved, I would say. Do you get my point?
Yeah. My belief system doesn't get to dominate you.
Right. So I'm saying is, as an anarchist, if you're an anarchist and you're a theist, you should still think no gods, no masters, because it is not saying there are no gods in existence. The no gods is no one is a fucking god over other people. Which is the same as a master.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like that is, in a sense, an anarchist argument for the no hierarchy, because guess what God would be? A literal king of the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Would it not?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. So I'm making a point that it would have a problem with it regardless if theism was true.
Yep.
Is
Exactly.
it's not addressing the is it true or not. It's addressing we don't let people rule people.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So I just wanted to clarify that because I've heard some theists, like this one theist says the fact that an anarchist says no gods, no masters, and they're indigenous, that we hate indigenous people. And that we're, part of the fucking human scum that, hurts culture or whatever.
That's just a misunderstanding.
Absolutely, the person has a right to think that. They're just wrong.
Yeah.
Because like I said, certainly in a no gods, no masters, what it means by no gods is we do not allow gods. It is not saying I do not believe in gods or not. It's not addressing that question to me. It's saying we don't allow masters. It doesn't say we don't believe in masters. In fact, we fucking believe in them, right?
That's why we fight against it.
Right. So if you take that line of thinking, then the no gods is not an atheist statement. It is instead a no masters statement.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. I like that.
But I still believe in atheism. That's why I bring up atheism also.
Of course.
But anyway, so humanism, right, is the no harm and do good. See, I think these are two things that are important. There's people that sometimes don't do any harm, right? But they do no fucking help at all.
Right. Yeah.
And so I feel the obligation is to help, as an ethical obligation to help. Right. So I can't imagine the society that allows billionaires why people are starving. The homes, like you said, someone owns 27 homes and there's freaking people that have nothing. Yep, sorry. That no.
It's not how we're not keeping it that way.
No, I feel that's an absolute fucking horror, a hell on earth. And why the fuck are we letting it stay this way? That's what I feel. This always was shit. Fucking letting people starve while you fucking gluttonize yourself is absolutely fucked.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm talking about these fucking billionaires and these fucking millionaires and these people with such fuck tons of money and literally want to rob people more.
Yeah.
Well, they say we can't pay, for fast food. We can't pay, workers more wages. We're about to go out of business. And then they'll go, but now we have a new $5 meal, Yeah. Well, somehow they can do that, right?
Yeah. No, that's right. And of course, then they're giving the CEOs bonuses and of course the record profits every quarter.
It's just fucking, like I said, I feel like this whole thing is set up ugly and terrible and it's fucked and it's unethical. I can't.
They steal from us.
Yeah.
And then they lie to us. And then people like this guy you're arguing with are like, oh yeah, those lies, they're actually true. And that stealing they're doing isn't actually stealing. And you go, what? You're not in reality now. You're just
and you're not in ethics. And even if you think that that's how society is, are you really wanting to keep it that way?
Well, yeah. Why would you?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, why do people act like I'm some radical? I feel like I'm just being ethical. How is taking care of people fucking radical? It's like I don't beat my kids. Should you get a fucking Parent of the Year award? I don't know. Who the fuck is beating their kids? What the fuck? Stop. You shouldn't be doing that crap,
Yeah, in an unethical society, being ethical is radical.
Yeah. Because the society is not fucking ethical.
Because the society is unethical.
So, of course, on that note, the next piece, I show them a little art so you can grasp what the fuck morality is.
Right, yeah.
People don't know what it is.
Yeah, he says, okay, the wealthy, very romantic. You have no right to do this. But okay, the truth is, though, that wherever communism has been tried, poor people have suffered the most, while power has been concentrated in the hands of the few. And you said, do we have an ethical responsibility to help others, or do you think it is ethical for others to die for nothing more than lack of wealth? To me, ethics is everything. And then you share your art, talking about morality.
Right, and I explained you could hit the hammer, right? The hammer on a rock, it's got no moral agent and no value. Me breaking it, in a sense, isn't really doing anything. Then I say a human skull. Well, it's not a moral agent. It's not a thing that's feeling or whatever. Its meaning is actually in its cultural value,
right,
or family or whatever. So I do think it's wrong to I'm not saying it's not wrong. I'm showing the difference. The rock, the human skull from someone's family, you're going to break it, or someone's cultural heritage.
It has an impact, right? Yeah.
Has an impact that you ethically have to evaluate and understand when you're decision making of is it okay? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I have the one, is it a live baby? Is it ethical for me to hit a baby in the head with a fucking hammer?
Yeah.
And then I'm saying the baby itself also is not a moral agent, not the rock, not the skull, and not the baby. None of these are moral agents, meaning they cannot consent, like say to sex.
Right.
So this is not a moral agent. This thing is not, I cannot judge it morally on what decisions a baby makes.
Yeah.
Correct? Right. So it's vulnerable in that sense. I'm the one that has to be the moral agent and make the decision ethically.
Right. And based on these three different kind of scenarios, you're looking at like, what's the moral implications for myself, the one acting?
There you go. What's real morality, Corey? Is it okay to hit all of them with a hammer the same? Are you fucking kidding me? Right? I'm trying to make it as easy as I can to grasp morality. I know that axiology makes it real easy for me, but I'm trying to make it easier. That literally you can see these are not the same, and to act as if somehow we don't have an obligation to care about the last one's life.
Right.
As if the whole world are a bunch of rocks. That's what capitalism, the lie.
Yeah, exactly.
Acts as if it's all a bunch of rocks and we don't have any obligation at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a lie. You need to the interaction and what you're interacting with changes the whole dynamic.
Yep.
So they act like capitalism is selling to rocks.
Right.
And if they get broken, there's no obligation to capitalism fucking at all.
Yeah.
They always go, the deaths of communism. Do you know the deaths of capitalism are everybody for, I don't know, the last 7,000 years?
Right.
All the wars, all the kings, all the famines, all the stuff, except communism to them. But other than that, everything else, it's all.
Which, of course, they made up the number for how many deaths there are for counter communism too. It's a fake number.
But I'm just making a point that even if they were accurate, because remember, my favorite thing to do, Corey, is buy what they're selling and show them they're still wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, fine. Communism killed that many. I don't agree that's even communism because I
agree. But okay, I'm buying what you're selling.
Even if I buy what you're selling, right? Okay, we'll give you that number. But all other deaths, practically all wars, all countries, all atomic bombs, all this shit that Japan, Russia, America, the colonialism, imperialism, these are all fucking capitalism.
Yeah.
So yeah, the little terror of most of the world's fucked up history is really because of capitalism. How in the fuck can you say that's the best system? Like, get the fuck out of here. Oh, the best system that still has billionaires, the most in the world, and yet poverty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest stratification of wealth in like a very, very long time.
Yeah. And let's fight to keep it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But like I said, remember, I'm talking to this guy because it started out, it was about ancient history and him trying to talk about, sort of Atlantis kind of bullshit. And like, Atlantis is true. I'm like, it's fucking not. He's like, it's over here. There they found out or something. I'm like, nobody found shit. First, go look up Atlantis. I mean, I don't know. Just don't take my word for it. Go to Wikipedia, look up Atlantis. It literally says it's an allegory. An allegory means it's kind of like a mythical story that you give like I kind of sometimes do. Well, if you do this, then this will happen or whatever.
Right.
You're like making up a fake thing. Or sometimes I joke and I act like I'm a conservative or whatever.
Like if somebody looked at your previous art and was like, so in the past, they used to hit babies with rocks as a discussion of morality.
Right.
With hammers.
Right. Not getting that I'm trying to show it. Look at how it changes.
Yeah.
context is literally everything.
For
And so,
sure.
like I said, capitalism is a lie. It's unethical. It tries to act as if it's amoral because it's trying to act like it's in the rock world, but it isn't.
But it isn't.
It's literally
Exactly.
hammering babies in the fucking head and going, "It's a rock to me."
Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of these rocks around for some reason.
Yeah, these rocks move. It's like magical rocks. Anyway, so my point is that leads to the next picture, which I sent him and which I wanted you to do. It's just anti-capitalism.
Right. Yeah.
This is, of course, my take on it,
Sure. So it says anti-capitalism. I am anti-capitalism. The problem with capitalism is not too many capitalists, but rather too few capitalists. A capitalist society is operating well when wealth is dominated by a few elites, true capitalists. Thus, it is this built-in inescapable fact of extreme class manipulation and imbalance that is the hidden unfixable problem capitalism is engineered to monopolize on giving us, the unethical class of billionaire scum we suffer under today. Capitalism's extreme class manipulation and imbalance problem will always have an economically unjust and unethical system, so it must be destroyed for humanity's sake. Therefore, can you not see capitalism is simply anti-humanistic and predatory to its core? Capitalism's extreme class manipulation and imbalance is geared towards the benefit of the few at the cost of the many. There is always a required mass of underpaid workers, worker slaves, wage slaves being left out of any real benefits of the capitalistic place. Wage slavery is always a big part of the so-called wealth needed to prop up the masters of capitalism. Which is, they need an underclass. They need not just the low-paid workers, but also unemployed people, so that we all are in fear of losing our jobs.
Good point. And so you feel that that's an okay way of explaining it?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. It is like if everyone had the same, I guess, opportunity to be capitalist, I guess, like to sell their wares and whatnot, to be the owner of their own means of production, then we'd have socialism.
Exactly. So you get what I'm trying to say, and also the ethicalness of it. I keep it showing what is wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so great. No, it's not great. And don't you see what's ethically wrong with it is my point. And so then you see the next picture. He keeps trying to get me, and I keep getting his ass.
Yeah. So he says, whatever name you want to put to stealing other people's stuff, establishing an authoritarian police state, and murdering millions in the name of charity. Fucking dishonest motherfucker. Anyway, so then you share a picture that says, no, I am not okay with the hell of this capitalist, profits-driven world that pushes our fellow humans to live the harsh life of the cold street.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see there's a person living in a, cement, thing, whatever.
Yeah, it's an old culvert, like
right.
for directing water, right?
Right. And there's other people living in it, and their clothes are hanging and stuff, and the girl's getting her shirt or her little skirt put on her for going to school.
Yeah.
And it's just, how can that not make me want to steal the fucking billionaires and give those people a fucking house?
Right. Exactly.
Right? How can you look at that morally and that doesn't fucking bother you?
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I said, fuck you. That's what I'm saying. Fuck you. I could, billionaires' fucking feelings. I don't know. How about the billions of people that are starving's feelings? I care about them first. Aren't they in the greater need? Oh, you're mad and you have fucking billions. They have fucking zero. I don't know. Taking some of your billions, fucker.
Yeah.
Like I said, the difference is some communists, or like you said, the French Revolution wants to kill, and people that are wealthy. And I told you that's definitely not what I want. As an anarchist, my stuff, as you know, always goes back to axiology and how to be valuable. Mm-hmm. And all I want really is everyone to be equal. meaning that I not want them dead. I want them to have a regular house like everybody else in their life, and the regular cars. Like I want everybody to have an ability of a car, and not or. And I also think we should have free transport everywhere, and that people don't have to be burdened like this. It's just a society is just disgusting. So I'm like, yeah, I really fucking don't give a fuck about their feelings, but I also do not want to just harm and kill them. My thing is that no one's harmed, and we all have enough. Like you said before, how can we give seconds when no one's got first?
Right. Yeah. I have a quote from another podcast that I listened to. They said on one of their posts, they said, "Message to my enemies: when the revolution comes, you're not just going to get the wall, buddy. You're going to get 4 walls, a roof, clean clothes, good food, education, and quality healthcare, because that's what every human being deserves."
Well, I totally agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Because some people I hear don't say what I feel an axiological, thinker would say. Axiology would go, everyone matters. Everyone needs to be cared for, including people that commit crimes. That's why I told you I can't justify the death penalty. If someone gets killed in the act of protecting someone else, then that is different. But once we have subdued the person to the point that they are not a threat, and then we just murder them, no, I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just making a comment because, once again, axiologically, they are still a valuable human being. The fact that they add bad, that is their behavior. Their core of worth is they're still a human being.
Yep.
So but I'm saying it's because of my being that way, then I would, of course, never want to just kill people. See what I'm saying? Rich or otherwise.
Yeah, like I had somebody, I was talking on Twitter or whatever, and they were saying, like, talking about liberals. They were denigrating liberals as because they didn't want to, they don't want to kill the wealthy. And I said, well, I don't actually want to kill the wealthy. Like, I think we should be taking their stuff. But if they give up their stuff willingly and we don't have to fight them for it, then they can just live with us and just be part of the community.
Totally agree. Yeah, totally agree. In fact, you reminded me, because I usually don't go really hard on Democrats, just because, I don't agree with them, but they are like generally more for people that are, gay and different and trans. So they do some things to help kids. So sometimes, I do like some things, but going back to your thing about violence, I'm going to read you one of this freaking response given me privately from this person that's a Democrat and all mad about Trump and Trumpism, because they know I hate Trump. I fucking do. Fuck that piece of shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I just want to, and I also don't think there's a big mass problem of blue MAGA, but this person reminded me that, but there is some.
There is some.
Fucking sure. So because I want to read this with the fucking thing. I'm like, I go, no. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what they said. I'm not going to read you. They wrote me twice, but I'm not going to go into all this because, fuck bullshit. I'm not wasting too much time on these people. But they said, hello, Damien. Nice to see you. The blue sky. Anyways, and they go, here's a few facts. Donald John Trump raped whatever when she was 13. They're going in and saying stuff. I'm going to skip some of their shit they're saying.
Sure.
And they're like, Russia's terrorist state, blah, 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 democracy, blah, 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 and we got to vote, all this stuff. And then they go, I am super fucking sick of Joe Biden, though. But who cares about that? Because now he's like Kamala Harris. Which I think Joe Biden is worse because I think he's more culpable for stuff in Palestine. I think he absolutely should be taken up to international court and tried as a fucking war criminal.
For sure.
For fucking... anyways, not to get off the subject, sorry, to go back to what I was talking about.
Yep.
Let's go to lastly. So this is the most important. I'm sorry, I should have skipped. Lastly, I want every MAGA supporter tortured, mutilated, raped, and then murdered. And then their corpses left unburnt where they died. Oh, unburied. Sorry, not unburnt. left them unburied where they died. Hope you're having a great day. I'm like, what the fuck?
No thanks. That's not
So
my dream.
Oh my God. I was like, okay, see, what the fuck, people? Oh my God. Anyways, I said, I am for non-aggression and non-violence. So I don't want people dead. I wish them educated and changed. Then they just went on this whole other long thing. I just, whatever. But I wanted to, you reminded me when you said those, like, liberals never thought, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I got a private message from a liberal, and I'm like, fuck. How is that different than Donald Trump? Like,
I actually saw some stuff like that on Twitter lately too. Was like pretty like extreme fucking violent dreams against like Trumpers and whatnot. And like you say, like I fucking don't like these people either. I don't like their attitudes. I hate Trump. I hate all the nonsense and misinformation that's coming out of this stuff. But I'm not up for like this violent fantasy about murdering them. Like I'm not into it. No, that's not what I want. I want to make a better world, and I want them to learn how to live in that world.
And how could we really have a better world like that? And how, I mean, that sounds like the horror that they're afraid of. I'm like, no, that, I was like, no, I don't fucking agree with that at all.
Why are you sending me this fucking nasty fantasy of yours? I don't want anything to do with it.
So, and then the next thing I sent you was Jens Nordtroff.
Oh, yep.
He's a German archaeologist that specializes in Göbekli Tepe.
Okay.
And he had made a comment about an article that says they believe that there was shamanism at Göbekli Tepe. And he liked that. He thinks that it has a valid thing. I, of course, think, yes, of course there was shamanism there.
Right.
And this is what I thought, hey, so I shared to him what my thoughts of how shamanism got there.
Yeah.
And it's complex. It starts at the Siberia, Russia border. It goes into Russia. Then it goes to Czechoslovakia. Then it goes back to lower part of Russia near Georgia. And then it goes to Lake Baikal out in, above Mongolia. And then from there, that's when R splits and goes down to the Middle East. And then, of course, eventually also, remember the first picture we showed was R going into Chad, remember, into Africa?
Right.
Right, at 8,000, though. See, like, once again, we know when people went places. This is why to me, all that Graham Hancock shit, I don't even get how many people are, like, so into him or defend.
Yeah.
Dude, he doesn't have any evidence showing anything. I mean, not DNA, not artifacts, not fucking language, not just...
It's like, what do they say? Like, he requires not only that you believe what he says without any evidence, but he also requires that people believe like that all the evidence that exists is a lie.
I think that's a good summary. That literally is a good summary. I think it's ridiculous, right? It literally, so it's real irritating to me. But I also wanted to show you is, how do they approach Damien's idea? This professional archaeologist is an expert at Göbekli Tepe shared this.
Yeah, and liked your art and shared it.
Yeah. All right. So what do they think about my ideas? I don't know, a fuck ton better than Graham Hancock, who they fucking attack mercilessly because they should. Thank you for your hard work.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and then the other thing I wanted to share was, because we're about to get to the video now, almost. So the next thing was a reclusive tribe attacks loggers suspected of encroaching on their land.
Yep.
Which, power to the people, man.
Yeah, that's right. Like, get those fuckers out of there.
But then it says Peru's reclusive tribe, and I'm not gonna Mashiko Puro ethnic group recently used bows and arrows to attack loggers suspected of encroaching on the territory of Amazon, according to the indigenous organization. And I wanted to bring that up just because I'm showing it's still happening. Because see, then we watch the video and you watch them dealing with the loggers, and we go, oh, okay. And this happens to be in the Amazon, and we're going to watch about Indonesia, but it's still the same.
Right.
It's addressing the same issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So well, on that note, let's watch the video.
All right.
Well, and I forgot another thing too that I said to him that I wanted to read, about capitalism or whatever, because they always try to say like, to me, they're like, oh, well, that's just a pipe dream that people are going to do that, and I go, I always write the anarchism, and I always say, once there were those who thought it crazy to think that we could have a world without kings.
Mm-hmm.
Anarchism is ethical, and its just call to freedom is worthy an endeavor, as are all human rights. So it's just like their argument is just bullshit to me, because I'm like, yeah, see, anarchism isn't like the Republican Party or the Democrats or even other whatever, libertarian or any other nonsense.
Yeah.
Because our call is that all humans should have free and equal dignity. See, so it, yeah.
Yeah. It's a universal call, like, actually.
Yeah,
So.
right. And that's why we care. And you, at least, I do, and I know you do too, care about indigenous people as anarchists, because they're all important. All of us.
That's right.
We talk about them because they're the ones getting fucked and left out and not cared about and acted as if in this capitalist world that they just are trash and don't matter.
Right.
They're an inconvenience. It's like, what the fuck? No, they're a human equal, you piece of garbage. At least that's how I feel as an anarchist.
Yep.
I know Corey's always got so many disagreements with
me. I
me.
disagree vehemently somehow on this very basic question of humanity.
But that's why I told you, I just find it ludicrous to think people think they can argue with me about anarchism. I'm like, dude, my anarchism is because of ethics, and you're gonna lose.
Yeah. So. I also find it very strange when people are looking at the world and believing that they're looking at it through a non-ethical based worldview, as though like maybe what you're arguing for is not actually ethical because your analysis is wrong, but you're still doing it from your own ethical worldview. Like, you're still looking at it through a morality perspective, right? Like, you can't get away from it.
You just can't. And which is what I try to show all the time, and which I think why, to me personally, that if people actually listen to all my stuff or read my stuff, they would really start to grasp all this. And that's why I feel like I'm constantly champion reason and thinking and atheism, and because it's true and it's life freeing. Consider all this bullshit baggage. It's just corporations, or it's freaking clan. I mean, it's just people oppressing us. Yeah. Anyways, so let's go to the. Speaking of people being oppressed, let's go to the video.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good to teach you that. Listen to what these fuckers actually say on video. You're like, oh my god. But the capitalists are corrupt fucks. They always think they can say stuff in front of us because remember, there's no ethical obligation. So they can say this horrid shit, and they're like, yeah, we're good.
Right. All right.
Pangalak niba. Ayuro ake punu teteu mai utet niba sibaraka teteu mai. Apa pa olin pora naninda kay Indonesia? Kalulun nenek sa Sarayna. Anay Katolik, anay Protestan, anay Islam, anay Buddha. Epat arak kay Indonesia nenek. Iyo ba ake? Ele iyo ake pamarenta bulet tenung ake samrenta puni pamian. Kalulun nenek sa Sarayna. Bulet tatun.
Some of the islanders see no conflict between their old beliefs and Christianity and have tried to follow both. It has landed these three men in trouble with the police.
May kasita si Sailasita, kabakat puto neman bagatta, kalulut, ay pele katalagatta si magura to nimbaga.
Ya, masuk.
They have conducted a clandestine ceremony to initiate a new medicine man, something which provokes a strong reaction from the police chief.
Tolong sampaikan ya. Sekiranya dilarang. Sebabnya dilarang adalah menghalangi kemajuan. Kalau memakai skere, berarti memakan waktu dan panjang. Dan lagi pun tidak bisa menyatakan orang itu laki senang atau cepat sembuh. Sebabnya skere adalah bukan memeriksa penyakit dengan sebaik-baiknya.
Tapi kalau tayo itu bumain ni arah Cibau, nenek ibali magulay patuat mai. Ibali magulay. Apa tak sibara patuat mai? Kini kita na ingangan pemerintah kita gila kay pemerintah. Sangan beri takos kudu kami tawai toilet siya ka warsa bulungan itsa. Iya te imai kita kuat. Karisten tapoy ke bara orang indah sikere la sokay. Kalau napa kalau lu putol memang bakara katubut sikere.
Padahal skere itu sendiri tidak menyembuhkan penyakit menurut pendapat dalam alam kemajuan sekarang. Dan dari pemerintah mengurangi skere ini dengan tertulis kepada kami. Supaya skere-skere ini beransur-ansur dihapuskan.
Kalau malegre kaya si kalingan laget, no makia baja. Kalau tanay sipo niya, o tapa ipo, besid baga, tanay kaskere, kay pale besid baga, karoktor le kamantari. O to si kunanan itu, tanay kamantari, kay pale ibara kaskere. O to yung tako besid kay si baja, si tereke, mukere. Tapoy kilik takwa, imagay ka pemerintah daw kumle.
Atau dari apa yang telah saya lihat, si Bulungan itu upacara-upacaranya pernah saya lihat. Tetapi saya menganggap karena pengertian mungkin bagi saya, bahasa itu bukanlah suatu agama. Hanya merupakan satu kepercayaan yang tidak mendalam kepada pribadi orang itu sendiri.
Pause for a second. Right. So did you grasp what he said? They
Yeah.
have a religion. They're really simple and stupid people. It doesn't matter or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
what the?
Meanwhile, the actual citizens who want to go back, like to have their medicine man, are like, yeah, well, we all believe in this, whether they tell us not to or not.
Right. So and that's definitely where, as an anarchist, I really hate the fact that they're being forced. If they want to believe that, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, how would they feel if they couldn't believe Christianity, right, or whatever?
Right. Yeah, if somebody came in with
threatened.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, didn't you see how is that any fucking different than what all the other colonizers have always fucking done?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's always the way, right? Like you have to go in and eliminate their religion and eliminate their belief system and their culture so that they have to adopt yours. And then if they said that like Sir John A. Macdonald, the founder of Canada or whatever, the first prime minister of Canada, he said like, yeah, we need to, what he said was kill the Indian to save the man, which is, I mean,
and that's what I'm saying. That's almost what they're trying to do here, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting to watch their thinking or what they have to do to defend themselves. That's why I said it's pretty fucked up, but it's a good example because it's happening recently. And like I said, how is that different than the stuff that's happening in Peru? This is Indonesia. And other stuff is happening in Canada and the Americas and other. It's literally just what piece of shit capitalist fuckheads do to indigenous people.
Yeah. It's not good.
It's not.
No, it's just domination and colonization through like oppression, right?
Right.
Sebetulnya upacara agama boleh dikatakan tidak ada. Cuma yang ada upacara perkawinan, upacara mati, dan upacara pengobatan. Tapi yang khusus menyembah daripada ini boleh dikatakan saya tahu belum ada.
Chula si masuk sila kula lagi. Ini mai tu sebab hunne kata cina ne kakulug ne apa kulug kai ngata si kata. Apa kulug ko bula si kata. Ba tu kai si bula kai masuk ekau. Si ma beli kai katu boy masuk ekau. Ala si dia katu boy masuk ekau. Ala le ya yuri ka ya bula ka ya sorol.
Pause for a second. So once again, right, the guy said they have no real religion because they also have no prayers.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, I pray to the high mountains, and
yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's like this documentary is like showing the clear lies of what the colonizers
right? Right. So it's a good documentary. That's why we're watching it. And I told you I do watch a lot of stuff that I don't post because I really want to know. And I feel like as an anarchist, I really have to understand all cultures, because then I can start caring about the whole humans.
Yeah.
So easy to be, I'm not that. Or like, I do feel we should help people get to atheism. But I also feel if they choose not to have that, they have the right to fucking do that too. And I told people before, I say things bad about religion. I don't attack people. I attack people that act badly, like their behavior. People that talk shit, whether they're an atheist or not. Right? I've said shit about David Silverman. It doesn't. I don't give a fuck if he's an atheist or fucking what's that? Richard Dawkins, that piece of scum, and yet an atheist. That doesn't. I care about how you treat people as a humanity. Just like I said, I care about a society. Tell me how society treats the most vulnerable. Then I'll start to understand if your society is worth a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you too, as a person, how do you treat the most vulnerable people? See what? Just like the society, it also works for the individual. If an individual treats the most vulnerable people like a piece of shit, newsflash, piece of shit.
Yeah, that's right. That used to be like, I don't know. There used to be a standard actually where people thought the way that you treat your most vulnerable is how you judge a society. But somewhere along the line, it seems to have gotten lost. And now it's just like, fuck the vulnerable. We're all taking whatever we want.
Yeah, right. If I don't steal it, someone else will.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's absolutely horrid thing. And that's what I'm totally against. And if we start to see ethical, I believe it starts motivating new change that's positive.
Yeah.
So go ahead. But I just wanted to show that literal lies. The guy's like, oh, they have no religion. They have no prayers. And then this guy's like, I pray to the mountain. I mean, yeah, it's absolute. Right. It's just bigotry. And so even though I, as an atheist, do not believe what they're saying, I would not be like you saying they don't have a religion.
Exactly.
Fucking fuck off. He's saying he's not praying.
They clearly have a religion.
And they're clearly praying.
Like, what the fuck?
So it's really horrid to hear these people say that they don't, and then the state says their whole religion is outlawed, just like all the other fucking colonizers. It's just gross, man. Anyways, because I'm an anarchist, not just an atheist. So, I mean, I care about that shit. Like, no, I'm not cool with forcing people. That's like saying to kill and rape them and torture. What?
Right. Yeah.
No.
And I guess, I mean, yeah. No, there's no real excuse for like any of these kind of like forcing people into anything, or even like, yeah.
But like I said, and the other thing too about they were questioning, should they give them food? The people that came out of the Amazon, they were an uncontacted tribe. It's like, okay, well, they came out, they've contacted you. If somebody needs food, once again,
they're hungry,
it's the hard thing. If someone needs food, you help them. Someone needs medical, you help them. They're like questioning, should we, because I feel like going back to the same thing. That's the other bigotry, is that they sort of kind of idolize, you must stay primitive.
Right.
Because I need someone to be primitive in the world, I guess, to feel better about myself or something.
I guess.
But so I have no desire to keep someone primitive, but I also think someone has the right to be primitive. What the fuck?
Yeah, if they prefer the simple life of of
Exactly.
something,
Yeah.
other than
I wasn't saying primitive is derogatory. I'm just making the comment.
Yeah,
Someone
for
wants
sure.
to do what you think is primitive, and
Yeah, no, that's right.
okay.
So be it.
So, anyways, let's keep going.
Okay.
Pona ko to na elaka titulolok pa lolok daki alak mai lolok puri manwa mai lolok kawawa mai kol pil kai gulu
For the Sakude, there is no distinction between their religion and all their other traditions. Everything has been handed down from the ancestors who set the example of how life should be. This has led to conflict with the authorities, often on apparently trivial matters.
Could I ask why you think it's necessary that the Mentoans should cut their hair?
Well, you see, every society has a kind of, value systems, and I think we like here, to bring the people up so that you shouldn't be different with the others. I tell you what, just 1 year ago, this Sakude group, they came over here and voluntarily, they asked the governor to cut their hairs. I have done it. But this is important because behind this, there's a story that if you explain it to them and, so that they can accept, so they are willing to do it voluntarily. And I agree with you. I don't agree a hard, way, that a harsh action towards this people.
Kita Malaysia kakayeti na ne bumati mai ku kira hai na. Murag kira mai na opul gulungan mai
Pause for 1
opul
second.
nanu mai opul lei
Pause for a second, Corey. Yeah. So do you see that he said that he doesn't like anyone to be different, and they came and then the governor cut the hairs, and he said he's even cut people's hair.
Yeah.
Right. Is that dude a barber? Do you really think people whose culture is to have long hair, that they would come and say please to the governor? Right, Corey? Because just think, logically, if I lived in a society and I needed my hair cut, my people would do it for me. I would not go into a foreign thing and say, yo, dude, the guy that's the head person, please cut my hair in front of all these other people that are cheering for my hair to come off,
Yeah, that's right.
Really? Okay, also, so once again, just showing they fucking lie, what all colonizers do, justify their absolute horseshit.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, too, then this guy's like, fuck no, we didn't, because they're asking what happened.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, fuck no, we didn't fucking want our haircut. They fucking forced us. They had guns and shit. We were fucking scared. They they made us.
Here's the list of reasons we need to keep our hair long. Yeah.
Well, that he did actually, yeah, right, because he said they need to keep their hair long because they tie stuff in it when they have religion ceremonies. It's part of their religious practice. They have to have long hair, so they go, fine, we'll give you wigs, right? They gave him one whole tribe, give him one wig, and it's a female's wig. Anyway, it's just the whole thing is fucked up.
No kidding.
Yeah, we'll keep going. But I just wanted to make sure we're clarifying that no one's missing that. Look at how the government is just fucking lying, as always.
Yeah.
The Sakude tell a different version of the affair than the governor, but he didn't know the full story. The Sakude say they were threatened by two government officials during a prolonged argument the night before they met the governor.
Sivara la primui bele sivara ta sirile la primus manata alaya nenda ka wagita ntati ako kai nenda ta perake sivara bara le la primus manata
Having browbeaten the Secude into volunteering for haircuts, the government men subsequently produced, by way of compensation, 1 wig for the 8 adult men of the clan.
Iya, ya mana nade? Oh, tapi yata iya dia punya ni. Oh, mana ni? Sesuatu dia si, niya si kuara susah tak data lai. Alai me kiba patak kuda pona patak.
The wig is usually worn by Teresa, not without embarrassment. Teresa is thus the only man in the clan who is any longer properly dressed and decorated for ceremonial occasions. Here he performs the eagle dance, with the others miming the irritating attentions of some monkeys.
If I'm convinced on my next trip that this is really a basic problem for them, having long hair or not long hair, in the sense that it will hurt or hamper the other program of the government, well, I'm willing to make changes.
Capitalism to the rescue.
Sorry?
I said capitalism to the rescue. Now they're showing what the government's doing to their land.
Right.
That they never gave over or signed a treaty to. But now the government just comes in and brings bulldozers and allows, and also the government has already leased out the whole island they're on without their permission, and just carved it up into regions, and then just let logging companies from the Philippines come and buy land that's the indigenous and just go there, and they protect them with guns to just cut all the trees in the people's area, flatten it, and then leave.
Jeez, eh?
And then send all the wood to the Philippines, and then maybe from there to the rest of the world, or I don't know. But my point is,
either way, it's
capitalism to the rescue.
That's right. Either way, it's not the indigenous people that are getting the advantage of their natural habitat. It's some capitalists from
right. The capitalists are benefiting, but the people are not. They're not getting compensated, because even they ask the government, well, how much are they getting them? They actually don't give them anything. The only people that are getting anything is that the Filipino loggers are paying off government officials and military officials to protect them from the indigenous.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Government and capital always works hand in hand.
yeah, but don't say that out loud to an anarcho-capitalist. You know, you might.
Yeah, because they don't understand how actual things work.
But anyways, let's finish watching this video so we can watch how terrible it is for these people.
Okay.
The Secude may know of schools and missionaries, and they have had occasional brushes with the police. But as yet they know nothing of the newest and potentially the biggest threat to their way of life. They don't know and wouldn't understand that their clan territory is inside the boundaries of a vast concession granted by the Indonesian government to a Filipino logging company. How much of the island has been given out in concessions?
I think we have by now about 8 concession holders.
And what proportion of the area of the island do you think that is?
Oh, you see, on paper, all the islands are already divided in regions. Though, but according to our policy, they are only allowed to cut trees that has been proven by our forestry department. So it is not a clear, except for making roads, they are not allowed to cut every tree. The minimum requirement for that is a 60 centimeter diagram.
Mhm.
It is the minimum, because due to the age of trees and so on and so on, we have our own
Pause for a
regulations
second.
for that. So it
Right. So, as we already said, he's basically said this whole island that these indigenous people live on and own, in a sense, if capitalism cares about ownership, they own,
Mhm.
right? Comes in and government just plots it all out and then just starts selling plots without even telling the indigenous fuck all. Just
Yeah.
starts fucking selling. Then loggers come, and then the government has, military, protect the loggers because they're allowed to log. We gave them a permit to do it. The indigenous are like, the fuck? I didn't give you shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his defense of that is, well, we don't let them do anything but the big ones. Like,
Right. And there's certain areas that we don't let them do.
Yeah.
Like they've got to go into certain areas. It's just for roads. They got to clear cut.
you're just like, dude, listen to yourself. You sound
Yeah.
horrid.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's finish some more.
it must be a selective cutting.
Have you had any problems with the local population at all?
Well, sometimes there are few, but it's only slight because, when we construct a road, for instance, they claim damages with coconut trees and other plantation. But with the help of the Indonesian official right in Sibirut, we solved all the problems.
I heard a story that you had some equipment burnt last March by some of the local people. What was that?
Well, sometimes we don't know whether it is natives of born those equipments or to our men Filipino workers. Might be there is an underground or I don't know, but until now we do not know we have not solved the case who born that equipment.
You did have some equipment then.
No, it is only, I think, 3 sensors. They are only true. That's the only happening which we encountered in this island.
Have any of the people of the island ever asked for compensation?
Well, there are sometimes, but we just give a contribution to life success. The army, partner, what we call Pachamat.
You give a contribution?
Yeah, for the government official here in Cebu.
You pay money to the government official?
Yeah. But that's not.
Pause for a second. So you get that, right? He has. Do you ever compensate the indigenous for these trees you're taking, or for the destruction you do to their coconut trees and their way of life and endanger them in the area? And he goes, well, yes, we do compensate. What we do is we pay the military of Indonesia, and then we pay the politicians.
Yeah.
And then everything is okay.
Yeah.
Like, what the? So you see what I'm saying? Capitalist and the government. Yeah. Fucking hand in fucking hand.
Yep. Always the way it is. So I guess according to our messages, there's only like 8 more seconds left in this clip. Do we want to, or is this good?
Yeah, it's good because he's admitting it. He's like literally fucking just saying. That's why I was just making a point. It's not a conspiracy. Us leftists are not doing some conspiracy. Literally, this is how these fucking pieces of shit do and how they think.
Yeah.
And it is a fucking problem. And it doesn't matter if it's in Brazil or if it's in,
Yeah. Doesn't matter where. Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't it sound almost the same?
Yep.
I could have been explaining
He-
American history.
This
They cut off their hair. They took their religion. They took their language.
and then they logged the land that they were on.
Yeah.
They took. Yeah.
You're like, I have heard this before.
Yeah, that's right. It's there's still people up in BC where they're trying to put pipelines in, fighting against that shit because the government gave them the right to put in the pipeline on Indigenous land, unceded territory. This was not treaty territory. This is stolen territory.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's all over the world. And this guy in this particular video we just watched, he knows. You can see this on his face. He knows how full of shit he is, and that he's just trying to. Oh no, our equipment wasn't burnt, or it wasn't that much equipment, and we don't know who did it yet. But like, yeah, fucking people burnt your equipment because you're fucking stealing.
And you're like, damn, man, power to the people.
That's right. Yeah,
You're like, fuck, there's anarchists everywhere, damn it.
hell yeah, that's right.
We're worldwide.
No, it's awesome.
But then if you see that, really, aren't they trying to stop the oppression and the invasion of their land, destruction of their things, the stealing of their, and zero compensation of them? Zero. Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
It's fucking gross as fuck. But then capitalists, or people like online, well, you know, Damien, capitalism is the best system that's ever been invented. And I'm like, how do you say that shit with a straight face? And then the next thing say, but love your neighbor as yourself. But get the fuck out of here.
Or even your buddy there that you were arguing with, he's there talking about how communism is stealing, when the whole thing of capitalism is the theft of the resources from the people that were living on the land, because they weren't using it the way that they fucking wanted them to use it. They needed it, or whatever they thought.
Right, but you see that how is that video any different than every other fucking indigenous person's story, practically?
No, it really is. Like, that's the same to the methods that capitalists and colonizers use all over.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, so that's why I feel like, you know, people have it wrong if they think that I only care about America. My anarchism does not have a fucking border, dumbass.
Yeah. Definitely an internationalist, if that's the term that would work.
Absolutely. To me, I couldn't justify where I would stop and say these people aren't my people.
Yeah,
the humanity is. So that also means, though, it really pisses me off when we have like billionaires and yet a lot of the world is fucking dying of starvation.
Yeah,
or just suffering, like, you know, like that picture, just suffering absolutely wantonly, while fucking other people, you know, just billionaires just throwing money around and buying Twitter off just because they're emotionally needed to.
Yeah. Just because he didn't have enough free speech.
What is it he doesn't like? Cisgender, right? Is that what he?
Oh yeah, cis is a slur. Yeah.
He's fine with the N-word and all other kind of slurs.
Yes, of course.
Just don't use the specific one that he doesn't like. It's just,
that's right.
It's just, you just go, seriously?
You can use slurs to insult trans people, obviously, but not cis, hetero, white dudes. We can't be insulting them.
Well, I think it's really stupid anyways. It's just a classification. It's like, it doesn't, like, what the fuck? What is your fucking issue?
Literally
like
just means
they hate people to do their pronouns.
Right.
Like, literally, the fuck does that bother you?
Yeah, it makes no sense. It really just makes no sense. If you were bothered by the fact that I put he, him in my fucking bio,
right,
then I don't know what to tell you. You're a he, him, or a she, her, or they, them also.
Right, and I told you I would use he, him because I've chosen to, but how I really feel is a they or an us or we or whatever kind of. I feel like not too spirited, but like two sides or whatever really strong. Like male and female, and I took a test before, and I like 50% on both. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
But also I know I'm intersex, and I'm just and so I'm genderqueer to me. But like, you know, society doesn't accept trans. They certainly don't accept genderqueer either. I mean, some trans also don't accept genderqueer because
Right.
trans is accepting in the gender binary.
Right.
To some people, I mean,
Yeah.
because someone could also be trans and non-binary, I believe. But anyway, so the fact that, though, I'm just saying that the non-binary stuff is hard for people because it's like, pick a thing, you know, just like they hate people that are bisexual.
Yeah.
They pick a,
Yeah.
you know, a sexual. It's just, for me, it's just all stupid. Like, the
yeah, it does make me a little bit crazy because it's like, why the fuck do I care what anybody else is doing with their life, and how should that? It doesn't offend me or affect me in any way. So why would I have any say in it?
But I think that it's interesting, though, too, that like we were talking about before, about the capitalism horde that we can see in our fucking, you know, in front of our face all the time. How come they look for stuff, to me, like people on the right, that hate pronouns? Like, how is that such an issue to you? And starving children doesn't fucking register. What kind of a fucking moral midget are you that you could put that much energy into that one issue, and yet other issues, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like, actually, like, more kids are starving than, you know, because of capitalism and exploitation,
right,
every day, than there are people who are transitioning. Like,
Correct.
It's a higher percentage of people that are dying from starvation.
But my point was this: even if, like say Archaeology, because I'm trying to grasp, you know, like, buy what they're selling again, as I told you.
Sure.
So if we accept that it's a really important thing to care about pronouns, right? I would say, yeah. Compared to what? If you put them on a scale, compared to children eating,
right?
I mean, it's like, you get my point. Is an ethical person, even if they said that's an issue, it would be how high on the level of issues,
right?
Yeah, not very high, because really, literally, like you said, and I feel, who gives a fuck? Anyways, I mean, cool. You know, I want to try to be, you know, thoughtful to you, but I mean, why would I give a fuck? What? This is what I give a fuck, to me, that, once again, ethics, how you treat me, how you treat especially vulnerable people.
Yeah.
That tells me, not if you fucking say you're a you know, one thing or whatever, a pronoun I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Literally, you get what I'm saying? Even if that was an issue, still, it's like, I look at
Which
that.
is why, which is why, like, you can still have like an anti-trans woman like Blair White, and it doesn't matter that she's trans.
Mm-hmm.
She's still an awful person.
Well, yeah.
You know, like, so
definitely. Yeah.
If you're gonna have, it doesn't matter what you identify with. If you're a good person or a bad person, if you have these values one way or the other, then that's what comes through.
Right. And I don't know how a good person could watch that video and how they're treating the indigenous and go, yeah, that's totally good happening.
Yeah, no, you can't. Like,
and if you do, like I said to that Nazi, I question your humanity. I mean, I think I have an absolute justification to do that.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, okay, then I stop believing that you're a good human. Is what I'm trying to really say. Yeah,
for sure.
So, anyways, let's go on to things I sent you. So I sent you a thing because my wife and me were watching something, and my wife asked me a question that I actually didn't know, because she always knows I know a lot. Mm-hmm. And she goes, how old is the oldest obsidian, Damien? And yes. I went, you know, I don't know. I know it's being mined 14,000 years ago in Turkey, and then at least maybe 12,000 in another place in Turkey. And they were going down into Israel and into Iraq and different places. And then, but I was like, how old is the old? I have
Pretty
no
old.
clue. I was like, I
Yeah.
have no clue. And so I wanted to go look at, hey, how old is obsidian stuff? Because I was like, told her, see, this is me. Well, as soon as I don't know things, I go get inquisitive. Like I don't get how people don't get inquisitive. When I
Right.
don't know something that's an interesting question, I go look and I learn.
For sure.
Because I thought, that's a good question. When is obsidian? And so then I read and I go, oh, it's those ingenious Africans. Obsidian tools are found in Ethiopia, might be as old as 180,000 years old. I was like,
Crazy.
Cool. It's those non-primitive people again.
Right.
Those ingenious hunter-gatherers, right? That should be a new way to say it. Those ingenious hunter-gatherers instead of people going primitive.
Yeah,
Ingenious
for sure.
hunter-gatherers, because isn't that really more correct than saying primitive?
That's wild to me. 180,000 years ago with obsidian tools. That's pretty old. That's
old.
That's damn old.
So let's go down to, I also sent you about acorn wheat.
Oh, yep.
Because I wanted to make a point that a lot of the times that the Graham Hancock site, like when they say hunter-gatherers are primitive, and then the non-primitive to them are agriculturalists, just so you know. They say non-primitive is an agricultural society because they have hierarchy and stuff. That's what they think means non-primitive. To me, I'm like, hierarchy, some primitive shit. And it wasn't good at any time, and you're not going to sell me on it now.
Yeah, that's right.
No. But so I wanted to address the conception of, once again, because they think like I don't know what the fuck they think actually, because it's so weird. I'm like, hunter-gatherers invented agriculture, right?
Right. Yeah.
The ingenious.
It almost had to be that way, right? Hunter-gatherers had to invent agriculture.
Right.
Otherwise, agriculture wouldn't exist.
Call me crazy, Corey. I know. I bring up these really complicated, philosophical things,
Yeah. Somebody had to invent it.
Anyways, going back to So going back to the right from Wikipedia, right? So once again, a lot of times I use Wikipedia not because I think it's the greatest source in the entire world. It's just that what I want to do is as an anarchist is try to show I'm offering non-biased stuff. And you can go look it up yourself,
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know, I say this a lot about Wikipedia. If you don't like the reading of the page, you can find the sources that Wikipedia is citing.
Right. But you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to show that in general knowledge. You don't have to go crazy. If you guys just had inquisitive minds and looked up stuff, you could also learn. All I'm saying. That's why Graham Hancock's, I don't even grasp how you could just listen to someone go, for 30 years I have no evidence. You go, I'm done. I mean, literally I could just, shut it off. I'm done. I don't even hear that. Is that not enough? How the fuck is that not enough?
Yeah, that's nonsense. 30 years, yeah. I still don't have any actual evidence to back.
But then what's hard for me too is then a lot of those people say, I want to learn, I want to know, and the truth. I'm like, good, go read my blogs. And then they don't want to do that. So and then I go, see, you don't want to learn.
You don't really want to learn then, yeah.
I don't really want to learn because I literally have done fucking years of studying and trying to fucking help people understand.
Yeah.
Anyways. So acorn wheat is one of the earliest cultivated forms of wheat alongside emmer wheat, which is younger. Hunter-gatherers in the Fertile Crescent may have started harvesting acorn as early as 30,000 years ago, according to archaeologist evidence in Syria. Oh, archaeology evidence. Graham Hancock has none. Oh, what you going to go for, Corey? I can't handle it. Yeah, right.
No, I picked the no evidence. That's
really, you see what I'm saying? It blows my fucking mind, man. And people are like, why would you, dog on him? Why would I not?
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking charlatan.
No evidence. He is admitted, no evidence.
Yeah. And then the shit he points to, he lies and makes up dates and then says shit about facts that aren't true. And then, like you say, then he denies the facts we do know, like I'm showing you. So agriculture, if you want to say it happened when they're making wheat and bread, okay, well, that's 30,000 years old. So it's a day or two ago.
Yeah.
So and then I wrote a thing because thinking about that person who are here, I start with, a person talking about ancient Atlantis and white people, and then turns into he supports Nazis, and all of a sudden he's calling me communist scum and all this bullshit.
Right.
Remember that whole long drawn out thing that we had to read? Yeah. So the point of that, I made me think of this: hidden conspiracies. To me, there are bad people acting badly. Capitalism is an evil happening right in front of us, and yet so few grasp this really. But they think some hidden people are to blame for this or that. Hello, cartoon villains are real. We just call them the wealthy.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
It's and so many people are subject to because the capitalists, the wealthy, those who have own the means of production, they have invested money in teaching us to look the other direction, as though to teach us that there's nothing wrong with what they're doing.
Absolutely. Which, like I said, is just a fucking lie. And then I sent you a thing, I think today, where it says, it's a quote. You see it? When plunder becomes a way of life.
Yeah. When plunder becomes a way of life for a group of men in a society over the course of time, they create for themselves a legal system that authorizes it and a moral code that glorifies it. And isn't that just what we see now?
Right. And isn't that what we just watched in that video?
Yeah.
And isn't it what this freaking scumbag I was talking to, who has no problem with Hitler, thinks he had a bad rap and people are saying things wrong about him? Like, oh my God. Dude,
yeah.
You're a Nazi. So anyways, my point is, and he's really all for capitalism, of course. Nazi all for capitalism. See, he gets it.
Yep. Yep. Fascists love
Gotta
capitalism.
give him that. He does get the fascism correctly.
Yeah,
fascism
right.
and capitalism. Oh man, those are like together, hand in hand. Didn't you just watch the video? Yeah. Do I need to explain myself more than that? Like, come on, right?
Yeah.
And then let's go down to the next one I sent you today. America isn't in the 30 trillion debt because the poor are too much relying on welfare and pay too little taxes, but because billionaires pay too little taxes and rely too much on corporate welfare.
Yeah.
And
yep.
To me, I think that all of this is relating, which I feel like sometimes why I think I like better that, to me personally, why I'm trying to give like a, not just, as we said before, I don't just do a history show, because I feel like it's super important to keep hammering anarchism and socialist stuff, because an anti-capitalist for damn sure, even if it wasn't socialist, oh God, capitalism got to go. Even if someone wants to invent something new, okay, fine, let's get rid of that bullshit and think of something ethical. How about that?
Right.
But so I'm saying is I feel like it's all related. And it's also related why I feel like capitalists, of course, would love to keep the idea that primitive people are not important or whatever, or didn't create their own things, and Atlantis people did it.
Yeah, it's the same mentality as like saying like all of society rests on the shoulders of the entrepreneur or the owner in class, and the worker is just nothing. Like it's the same mentality, right?
Yeah, that isn't that literally like the conservative, dream platform.
Yep. Yep. The worker doesn't matter. It's all us business owners.
You don't matter.
Yeah.
Make sure you thank your boss.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why he deserves all the profits, right? That's where that without the investments, where would we be?
You know that some by those words, some conservative is jacking himself
Yeah,
off.
no kidding, eh? Fuck, eh?
But like I said, at the same time, aren't they dying in their humanity? It's just freaking gross. I want to go to the blog, right, and finish it with the blog, because I just wanted to, I feel like all this relates to me
For sure.
because capitalists love to degrade indigenous so they can steal their fucking land. All right, we just watched that.
Yeah.
And we talked about I want to go down to where I show the Middle East. Oh, here it is. Where it says Othello 2, submerged 23,000, Sea of Galilee.
I think it went too far.
You might have to scroll down. I want to address that. Because we talked about wheat and stuff. And it's about agriculture. It's a pre-agriculture site, and that's why I want to address it.
Okay.
Do you see it?
No, I think oh no, I still not low enough, I guess.
Or
yeah. Okay, yep. Ohalo 2, a submerged 23.
there you go. Yes, that's what we want to talk about.
All right.
Remember, I was talking about agriculture, their belief, right, that primitive hunter-gatherers, that fucking trope, and then glorious, sophisticated, agriculturalists, because they are making, product and making capital.
Yeah.
So, anyways, to the blog, right? So, the Fertile Crescent, that shows you the area that a lot of agriculture stuff did, right?
Right.
Because of it being fertile, right? And then you see that the Othello 2 is in there, and so is Göbekli Tepe.
Right.
Because remember, we talked about Göbekli Tepe, remember? And then also I told you that I shared that art of mine with my ideas. No one else has those ideas, like that it happened like that. Just
right.
So I'm giving like my own revolutionary thought of what could have happened and explaining why. And the archaeologist shared it. Then go back to one segment too, is that the supposed alternative archaeologists, which are just pseudo-archaeologist stuff that, or people that believe that crap. They always go, oh, the archaeologists won't accept outside ideas. Oh, they seem to not have a problem with my outside ideas.
Right.
He just shared something that no one else has done, so that would be outside. And it's mine, and I don't have a degree, so he is accepting someone outside of archaeology. Yep. So, and he's a professional archaeologist sharing that. So to say they don't, you're just wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they don't share. Once again, as Corey knows, which Corey as a skeptic would already have known this before I even explained it. They won't share things that have no evidence. Right? And that's literally like, isn't that like, well, duh.
Yep.
Right? Duh.
Yeah, the oddly enough, they're willing to show alternative theories,
right?
If there's lines of evidence showing that it's possible or probable, and
Correct.
They're not willing to share alternative theories when there's no evidence at all, or just made up shit.
And wouldn't even as a skeptic that make total sense to you?
Like, absolutely. Yeah,
like,
no, that's
you're like good.
That's how you're supposed to do things.
So right, because I don't show it just to like somehow say, oh, how great I am, but to show it also really to me debunks their bullshit that archaeologists are closed-minded.
Yeah,
like they seem pretty cool to me. They reject anything different. I say completely different stuff. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, that's right. And we've seen where like there's been times archaeologists have seen your stuff and they go, oh, well, I wouldn't have gone that far.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're going, well, yeah, but this is where I'm drawing my evidence from.
Yes, exactly. And they do not say, well, that can't be, or, you're totally wrong, or no, they don't say that shit.
No.
But anyways, but my point, like I said, so my point though is not just to say every one of my speculations is like 100%,
Right.
I'm trying to do like the anarchists have said before me, that we're supposed to present evidence, the plain truth.
Yeah,
And so that is absolutely what I try to do.
for sure.
Like I said, also why I can appreciate people who also do that, like the archaeologists.
Yeah.
So I told you before, like when they dog on them, it's like, dude, these guys are scientists, and at least they're gathering truth, are they not? I mean,
Yeah. They're putting in the work to find the lines of evidence that exist.
I appreciate the living shit out of them. What are you talking about? Fuck you. In your non-evidence like arguments, like get the fuck out of here. Oh, it's like the God arguments when you have nothing.
Right. Yeah.
But then, like, like we said, they do it a lot of times, like we've seen in the justification for capitalism too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Othello 2. So I was trying to show is that these people have done domestication. They're already doing proto-agriculture.
Right.
It's 23,000 years ago. Is this the advanced culture he's talking about? No, because Graham Hancock doesn't point to any culture.
Right.
He just randomly knows it's a culture. How does he know that? He randomly says they have all these types of abilities. How does he justify that? When I justify it, don't I try to give it like, I don't know, picture and explain and the art and the thing, and here's their tools.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Here's where it came from. Here's where it went.
Right. I don't know. Doesn't that help? Like you see, like the Othello 2, right? It's near the lake, but then it shows a little thing of actually how it was laid out. Those little green things are the little huts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See, I drew a little better, like an art of a little hut, so you can grasp like what they look like.
For sure.
And then on the little diagram, they're just little green things. See them?
Right.
Anyways, my point is though, do you see how detailed? The only reason we know this stuff is because of the archaeologists. How could we not appreciate that?
Yeah, for sure.
And that starts to help us know how they're living, what they're doing. Doesn't that tell us more than Graham Hancock's wild speculations from, I don't know, no evidence?
Yeah, he just wants to be able to say, well, we don't know this, therefore my explanation, right?
Right. But let's also assume that the Atlantis, which is a total nonsense, like I said, thing. Well, how come this isn't Atlantis? How come everywhere's not Atlantis? You need to justify how does that relate to the Atlantis story? Because
right.
What's so crazy is people will say Atlantis, but they don't know the real story. And then if they ever do hear the story, they're not following it because they'll give times like 20,000 years ago. And I'm like, okay, just for sake of argument, let's assume the Atlantis story is correct. What does the Atlantis story say in its own story? Drum roll, 9,000 years. So if we accept that the story itself is where Atlantis comes from, and the story itself says 9,000 years, where do you, Graham Hancock, say 20,000?
Right.
12,000, whatever other, anyway. Well, actually, maybe it's 12,000 or 11, because actually I think it's 9,000 from Greece, and Greece is like 2,000 something, so maybe 2009, is that
so like 11,000, 12,000,
anyway,
somewhere in there.
my point, once again, yeah, right, but more of an accurate, limited time. Once again, if you just believe the story, then you're limited to one point.
Yeah.
You can't just off once again, like Graham Hancock, say, oh, well, it's 20,000 or say so, whatever. You can't just, if you're gonna do the story, it's supposed
you gotta do it.
right. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just trying to. People don't really want the truth once again, because like I said, if they did, they would be reading my blogs and be asking me questions a lot more.
Right.
And then they would go research other stuff. Plus, like I said, it even like this, you see that it's complicated. It's not like simplistic. Where those other things is simplistic. You know how they come? Because he doesn't have to give you a culture.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. That's why he can say all kinds of fancy words. Who gives a fuck? His most important thing was, I have no evidence.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, so go ahead and read real quick what it says below it. Humans living.
So humans living in wood huts were growing grain with pesky proto-weeds 11,000 years earlier than thought. International team of scientists finds. Evidence of cereal cultivation has been discovered at a 23,000-year-old site in the Galilee, doubling the age of the first attempts at farming. Israeli archaeologists have unearthed evidence of early small-scale agricultural cultivation in Ohalo 2 at 23,000-year-old hunter-gatherer sedentary camp on the shore of the Sea of Galilee.
Pause for a second. That's already good, right? Because you hit the most important thing.
Right.
So, who did agriculture?
23,000-year-old hunter-gatherers, sedentary camp.
Hunter-gatherers
Yeah,
did
that's
it,
right.
Corey. What the? Oh, my God. Are we going to believe, Corey, like he said, remember, he goes, oh, are we going to believe archaeologists that hunter-gatherers built Göbekli Tepe? I would be like, are we going to believe scientists, right? Are we going to believe scientists
Right.
that hunter-gatherers invented agriculture?
Yes.
Mind blown, right? Yeah.
Yes, we are.
but anyway, so going back to once it was not my opinion, Graham Hancock lovers of nothing for evidence. No, I try to build, I don't know, this is crazy, my speculations from the evidence.
Right. Yeah, go figure, eh?
Yeah. Damn it. But that for some reason that's not real popular, you know? I always go, how am I not more popular? It's like fucking crazy. But because the reason I try to say is, how in the fuck do people believe in a million people for some guy who has zero evidence, not someone like me who literally comes up with his own revolutionary ideas, tying all kinds of evidence across the world together, and the archaeologists are sharing it, and everyone's like, yeah, don't listen to that, dude. These videos are too long.
Yeah, that's right. It makes me think of the meme or the cartoon where there's like the two lines, and on one line there's like two people, and it's leading up to a booth that says uncomfortable truths, and then the second line is like lined up way off out of the cartoon, and it's like comforting lies. Like, yeah, that's that. I think that explains most of it.
Right. And so real quick, go down to Japan picture where it says Japan. Because we're going back to the thing about hunter-gatherers being ingenious and amazing, and stop calling them
right. Okay. So we got, China, Russia, Korea, pottery in Japan around 16,500 years ago.
Well, do you see the pottery in China? It is 20,000 at one.
Ah, yes.
See where it says one? That's where you start. It starts there. And it shows, and it went with NDNA to the top. And that's why you see where it says the Khufu route, or I'm saying it wrong, Karafuto route,
sure,
or whatever that is.
Yep.
Is NDNA. See, I'm trying to show you so you grasp the difference. Oh, and then where it says, like here it says Jom rope pottery. Now Jom has a lot of cDNA, which I actually did right, and I should have. I failed, but I did show that the Okinawa route is haplogroup O. See, you don't need Graham Hancock. You don't have to guess.
Right.
Who did what? I know this is crazy. Someone has already done science.
Right. Yeah. The work has been done here.
Well, what if that you're wrong? I'm like, there's science on it. What do you mean?
Like, what do you mean? What if we're wrong?
I'm not grasping that you're grasping what the fuck science is, maybe. I mean, am I confused?
Okay. I guess maybe part of the problem is people don't get how they get the DNA. I guess.
Or actually, it's called aDNA often, ancient DNA, where they can trace things. And you can also trace pottery at the same time, doing the same, but different tests, showing the same thing. And that's what I've done, is put the two things together, actually 3 or 4 things together, because I put in multiple stuff to show you. Look at all these things doing what I'm saying.
Here's some pottery. Here's some statues. Here's some DNA. Here's some animal bones.
Right, terrible. Because someone asked before, Damien, are you saying that they can actually trace people by artifacts? I'm like, yes.
Fuck yeah, they can.
They fucking can.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the ways. And then you check the DNA. And if the DNA goes, and the pottery goes, and then the tools go, and the religion goes, I don't know, maybe someone took their brain with them.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Which is my big conspiracy theory, is that people take their brains with them.
Yeah. I know it's hard to believe. I always leave my brain at home when I go out, so it's
right. And so this is important too because it shows that 20,000 years ago, these people in China were hunter-gatherers, and they invented pottery. So wait a minute. So hunter-gatherers, the amazing hunter-gatherers, they invented agriculture that you're so proud of, everybody who's against hunter-gatherers, and then hunter-gatherers also invented pottery. Okay, so yeah,
right. They didn't wait until agriculture was invented before they invented pottery.
No, they didn't.
Okay, so they must have waited until agriculture was invented before they invented tools, though, right?
No,
no,
no.
Huh? That's weird.
No, there's actually like 30,000 or something year old, or 35-year-old sickle blades or whatever.
No, I was pretty sure that nothing mattered before agriculture.
I know, it's just crazy. But I'm trying to show is that, do you see why? Let's go down just to the picture of the Chinese that shows the actual pottery. See where it says 20,000 or whatever?
Yep. 20,000 to 10,000-year-old pottery found in the cave with reconstruction.
And this is from Wikipedia stuff, just to show you. But of course, I remade it so it's like easier to understand. But to me, this is just showing you hunter-gatherers. That's why when people say simple hunter-gatherers, like, what the fuck, do you even know about hunter-gatherers at all to make that assessment if they were simple or not? Do you just mean they do not like you and so they must be simple?
Yep, that's literally what they mean.
Right? I mean, I feel, and I like I said, I know I feel like I'm killing a dead horse or whatever, but obviously it's not dead, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, people don't grasp that they're literally have no reason to be dogging on hunter-gatherers as if they're foolish.
Yep.
So that's it. You can close the blog. So I wanted to see what so far, what do you think, Corey? What how is this,
I think it's pretty clear. Like, even if you ignore like Graham Hancock and the misinformation peddlers, like, it is pretty clear that like hunter-gatherers were, they had a variety of complex societies, complex activities, and cultures that all led up to the invention of the societies that came after them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Which, I mean, if you're a person who believes in evolution or that cultures can evolve or that societies can evolve, makes perfect fucking sense.
Don't you hate that? Just
yeah, I don't know.
Corey's like, yeah, all it is Corey has to listen to 3 hours every time he talks to me about shit that makes perfect fucking sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
like Damien has the most complicated way of talking about stuff that just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and somehow out in the world, people just don't understand this or believe in things that, if they make sense. You just put 1 and 1. It goes 1, then 2, then 3, then 4.
Now, don't you see, like when Graham Hancock goes, "Oh, the whole history they've instructed will fall." I'm like, that is so wrong.
Yeah,
history is not invented by people. They're putting all the artifacts in order, and then that becomes what's history, you idiot.
Yeah, that's right. And
you find new artifacts, they'll just get put in with the other ones.
Exactly. And you can look at like various things where like in colonization, where like the bias of the colonizer comes into the play or the study of the archaeology of the region.
Yeah.
But as time evolves and as the science evolved, they learned more and they eliminated biases in certain spots so they can recognize the more factual, more, I guess you would almost call it more woke version of ancient history.
Oh no, they would call that. Yeah, I guarantee there's more woke archaeologists than the Graham Hancock crowd. Just saying. Guarantee, because those people, as I already showed at the beginning, I don't know, think Hitler might have got a bad rap.
If he did all those things that people say he did, What? What are you talking
I don't know.
about?
I'll go with the woke as opposed to the, I don't know, Hitler apologists.
Yeah, that's right.
I
Fucking
mean,
Holocaust deniers.
Like the holy fuck. No.
Yeah.
So this is the problem too, is that woke just means caring. Then yeah, it's everyone should be woke. Why the fuck aren't you?
Yeah. No, that's right.
I mean, if it's just like how could you watch that and go, I'm totally okay with those indigenous people in Indonesia being oppressed, right? You're totally
Right.
okay with that.
Yeah,
That they have to
no.
have their hair cut and their religion removed. They're actually going to jail because they just want to practice their own religion, and they can't, that you're totally okay with all that. Fuck no.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How could you say I care about human rights and then go, oh, all that? Yeah, it's okay.
Well, because somebody's making a profit, so it must be okay.
Hey, but see, it's always profit over people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
The
why.
government said that it's okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, right. The government did. As long as you pay them enough bribes, the government says it's cool. We're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they don't like it, we had to bribe the military, then they'll kill for us. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Everything is
right.
fine now. Yes, they burn our stuff, right? Or like the ones in Brazil shoot us with bows and arrows. Yeah. Yeah, because they're fucking fighting back. Of course, some people, I just heard this one anarchist, he's like, we should send machine guns down there to fucking arm the fuckers, hand out fucking machine guns. Here you go. Here. This is called an AK-47. Pull like this, put the clip in. Yeah, go for it.
Your bow and arrow is good, but this is going to be a little more effective.
This might help you just a tad bit more. This will, here's the news. More than a loudspeaker, this will get their attention.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, but I'm just saying that how can you hear that and go be on the side of the oppressor? Like, yeah, good. I hope they log the fuck out of their land. You know what I'm saying? How could you be on that side and feel like a scumbag? Yeah, I'm pro-logging. Yeah, let the Indonesian government sell all the indigenous people's land if they want. I mean, they're the government.
Yeah.
Like, how did it just reminds me? Someone says like the political tests. They go, how do you end up in the blue? And then feel that you're a good person. Like the fuck, those are, I don't know. It would be like pro-loggers in this video we just watched.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not the great people that you think you are.
Yep.
But like I said, I thought it was good because it goes with all of our indigenous stuff. Because I was remember I told you before I had forgot, because this is how it started, sort of. I had told you before that I had watched, this is real shit, that I had watched horrific shit of these women getting hacked in the head with machetes because they said they were possessed with demons. Remember I told you about this?
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, man, I got to find that video so I can show Corey that I'm not like just making this up. Because I was like, I didn't remember that it's well known, but I didn't remember this. So I thought, it's important because it reminds me of, because sometimes like people will go, well, indigenous people, they do certain practices, it's all okay if they think it's okay. That relativism, morality, or cultural relativism that I also don't agree with.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to say, okay, this woman's being hacked in the head and they think that's okay because they're helping her get the demon out, and me go, oh yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, that's fine somehow. No.
Anyway, so they get tortured. It's way more involved. We're actually going to do a whole video on it.
Okay.
Because it's about Papua New Guinea has the worst rape in the whole world.
Oh, geez.
And so we're the stats and So we're going to talk about that because going back to this goes back to the primitive stuff. I also don't worship the primitive. If there's fucked up things, then I address the fucked up things.
Yeah.
But I do want to also acknowledge when we do the video, they do think that it's a new cultural thing, a reaction to capitalism and to Christianity, not totally a traditional thing.
Right. That's interesting. So
just wanted to also say that, once again, Christianity and probably capitalism, just like I said, think of you're these people, you never seen bulldozers and people just bulldozing your shit, and all of a sudden you're just, what the fuck? And your land's just been changed forever. You know, it's like, imagine how horrifying that would be.
Yeah, it's like a culture that believes a lot of like Christian type beliefs about witches and spirits and demons and like, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, is that they were saying that it's now horrific. It's like the worst. So I got stats on it and stuff, and we're going to do a whole video on that, about that, because I feel that, wow, it's important.
For sure.
So we're also going to do one on, I told you before, on the different Polynesia, Indonesia, Indonesia, not Polynesia, Indonesia, which still relates to Polynesia, but Indonesia, and then Papua New Guinea, Australia, and New Zealand. I want to address those, because people like don't know like almost fuck all about places like that. And so I want to address all those, and then in that we'll address just Papua New Guinea specifically. There's a lot of sexism in their culture. And we'll address, and that is probably that, and then with women are bad, like, you know, Christian belief, and that women can be possessed with demons, Christian belief, together is now having women being hacked in the head and all kinds of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
So so it just shows that, once again, it's still the outsiders created a problem. I mean, it was not that it was great before with the sexism,
right?
But it gave it like a focus, a negative focus, a violent focus, or whatever reaction to the stuff. It's pretty fucked up. So I want to address that, you know, because like I told you, I don't, like, some people I know, they pick like, what's the topic people are you know, gonna care about, or this. When I do stuff, it's because I want to show shit that I feel needs to be known.
Yeah.
Don't give a flying fuck if it's your popular shit.
Yeah. If we just, it's not a following of trends, right? It's like a teaching of things that are important in other ways that people aren't noticing in many cases.
Right. Don't you feel more connected now to indigenous people in Indonesia than before you did? You know, we did this.
Oh, video? Yeah, for sure. I didn't actually know anything about that stuff before. So
see, people don't know it. And so instead of me following a trend and waiting for it to be the popular thing, I just show something that's important to know.
Yeah.
And see how this is the same. Do you see how it's not any capitalist? How do you promote this? It's not any different. Okay. But anyways, I'm just trying to educate, you know, because I care. And I'm trying to show all these things. And also at the same time, I keep trying to do the anarchist thing. We are all the fucking same, you piece of shit, racist fucks.
Yeah.
And you know, how can you not? Doesn't that similar? How is that similar to the even indigenous people in all over the world? Yeah, it's literally the same, because it's the same ugly capitalist bullshit. It's fucking attacking it. Yeah. So I feel like it's super important. So I wasn't trying to make this all about capitalism, but capitalism makes itself part of my world and indigenous world, and how the fuck, and then assholes online are fucking defending it and then saying Hitler's a great person. So and then on top of that, Atlantis is real, which I told him no. Oh, in fact, speaking of that, someone recently, probably because I had made a comment about Atlantis not being real, because it isn't. But just clarifying, so the short, the cliff note.
Yeah.
Not real. Okay, so so if anyone ever says they find Atlantis, just remember the cliff note. This shit is not. It's like saying we found Narnia.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
Whatever. Or we found the Wizard of Oz. You know, or whatever that. I can't remember now. Whatever. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's
fiction.
You're literally the fuck not going to find it. Okay? When you find something similar, it's just because something happens to be an archaeology that is similar. By accident, your wrong conclusion going, well, if there's a picture I think I've showed you before, where there's this whole roof is like caved in and a cat sitting on it, right there on the cave in.
Yeah.
It would be a wrong conclusion. Go, well, then it must have been the cat that broke the roof.
Right. Yeah.
Right? That's the same dumbass logic. They go, look, that looks like Atlantis, so it must match the story. Okay. He literally explains it's supposed to be like, almost near the Canary Islands, just to give you
right,
which is a certain past Spain and all that. The arms of Gibraltar or whatever it's called. Anyways,
okay.
So it's outside the Mediterranean. He literally is telling you where it's at. Right, that's another problem, of course, they don't like about stories. There's fucking facts in stories, right? Unlike Graham Hancock, that doesn't like evidence. Even stories have facts to the story.
Yep.
Anyways, so I know I beat a dead horse that you should care about facts, even in stories. Like I said, when it says it's a certain age old, I don't know, then we go with that, right?
Yep.
What the fuck? If they say it's in a certain place, don't know, you probably go with that.
Just pick the age that I prefer and the place that I prefer, and I'll just say that looks like what I want to say it looks like.
Right. So to just point all over the earth and just claim it's like the story is going, I found Narnia, look.
Yeah,
it's the Wizard of Oz right there. Swear to God. Yeah. You're just talking foolishness. And that, like I said, that's also why archaeologists, have to say something. Thank goodness they say something. Jesus.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like I said, I really also want this to be always, that we're seeing that how important understanding these videos. It is super important for us to grasp that hunter-gatherers are a type of culture, a way of being that is equal to everybody else.
Right.
I hope that, if nothing else, you get that. And that they're also were pretty amazing. And still, if they're still hunter-gatherers today, it's still amazing. You ever tried to go hunting with like nothing? Oh,
yeah, it's pretty tough.
Try to tell somebody that person doesn't know what the fuck is going on, or that it's simple and easy. Yeah, because it's super easy to do all that complex stuff that makes them not actually a simple.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, so, and of course, support anarchy, because hell, people have rights and you don't control them.
That's right. That's right.
So, anyways, Corey, I really appreciate this. It's been a long
sure.
time, but I appreciate this is the last video on hunter-gatherer stuff, and
Cool.
I think that we did a great job, and then we even tied in current stuff and
I think it was good.
capitalism and how wonderful anarchism is. All the highlights.
Yeah, for sure. Right on.
So go ahead and tell people, what you do and where to find you.
I guess look for the Skeptical Leftist podcast. Pretty much anywhere you find podcasts or on YouTube. I do interviews. I talk to my buddy Justin about books that he's reading that are like anarchist or leftist in general theme. And that's kind of what I'm working on these days. You can find me at Linktree /Skeptical Leftist. I gave up my website because it's too expensive, but and nobody went to it anyway.
I promote you on all my blogs. All my blogs always have your info at the end.
I always appreciate that. Yeah.
So I constantly, even when I upload the stuff to my academic stuff, trying to get academics to share my ideas, which they are, by the way.
Yep.
But putting it up there, I put your stuff up there too, because I do feel, like I said, I don't just care about history. I absolutely care about anarchism. I want everyone to be an anarchist. You know how you get that to happen? Not by hiding somewhere and go. And then when people ask you, shyly going, "Oh yeah, I guess I'm an anarchist." No, man, you should be fucking screaming that from the rooftop so you can drag a crowd.
Yeah, there's got to be an education. There's got to be people out in front doing it, teaching it. So.
Right. And so I feel like, I think we're also filling a niche. How many sort of, prehistory shows are there with an anarchist and a socialist stuff,
Just the one, as far as I know.
So, but also I feel it's good though, because we also don't, it's not like we, like these other people that think Hitler okay. It's not like we take, history and try to propagandize it so it makes us look good. You know what I'm saying?
No,
we just say, look at the history and damn, that makes us look good.
Yeah. I think it provides important context to the theory.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. I can look back at everywhere in history and go, yeah, when people let people all do stuff, or like that one thing, the Neolithic, where they even immigrants, I thought that was kind of cool. Even immigrants ate the same. So everybody was, yeah. Why is that even a? What do you mean everybody has to figure out? Do we eat the same? That should be just such a given. Like
Yeah.
what the living fuck? So
Nonsense.
that's why. Oh yeah, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, we live in a pretty fucked up world where like some people are dining out on steak every night and other people are starving.
Which
So-
is, you know, it's so interesting. I went on a vacation recently, right? And I had I don't normally, like you just meant, because the reason you say this is because you said steak. So I had steak and I had crab legs and shrimp, like day after day. I got diarrhea. I'm not used to eating this food.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa. This is like too much. But just going back to what you're saying, because I don't fucking try to eat that all the time. I'm just making a comment. Yeah. The people that do, I can't even do that. It made me ill. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. So, yeah.
Your body has to be used to that kind of decadence.
It's seriously. I was like, oh God, my body's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I make my own homemade tofu. So I make
nice.
And even like I put chicken sometimes. I always put beans, and I put different vegetables and stuff. And I make a lot of soups and sort of like stews, sort of
Nice
stuff with tofu and stuff. So I'm just saying. So then when a piece of meat, like whoa,
yeah,
certainly like greasy, like wham, my stomach is like holy shit.
Yeah, what are you doing to me?
So I'm just saying, I just laugh because just recently I had a reminder. Yeah, I'm not those people, because when I try to even eat like them, I'm like, I feel ill.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just funny. But I appreciate you doing this, Corey, and I'm really thankful because I do feel like that we're filling a niche that nobody was trying for.
Yeah, I think it's important though.
But you know what? When we started, I had 5,000 or whatever, 2,805, and now it's 2,807. So, like I did gain some mainly recently too. So I think we're doing good
for sure.
So,
like it's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I'm definitely doing better on Blue Sky than I was.
Right.
I only had like 300 and something, and now I have like 1,300 people that are following me, and I'm getting a lot more shares. So, but and this is the point too, is I act the same way here as I do online.
Yeah.
Like I know I said that some people like leave online to get like their mental health. Me, that's where I go put all my anarchist, leftist, and history and shit, content out there, which is fine too. Me, I there's nothing that anybody can buy, so I'm just giving you content to educate you.
Yeah.
Right? So when I do that, I feel like, and I see people excited and start to learn and grasp it, and then believe in truth and hate lies. And then see the beauty also to me of anarchism and socialism and how unethical capitalism, because those are things I feel is important, and I say a lot because it's neat. I feel like it's sad that I have to keep saying it all the time, but I feel like I can't have to keep saying it all the time,
right?
Because people, they don't, and I also feel like our arguments, our strongest is ethical. How many people have you seen win an argument with me when it's about ethical? They just fucking don't.
Well, and I think the evidence has been shown that generally, if you just deal with facts, people don't change their minds.
Right.
They have to have some kind of like
motivation.
Yeah, motivation, an ethical grounds, or often a story that goes along with it to help them understand where they're coming from.
Right. And I'm not saying arbitrarily add, ethics to anarchism. I'm explaining instead.
Yeah.
Did you know that a feature of anarchism is an ethical persuasion?
Right. Yeah.
Right. See the difference? I'm not propagandizing you. I'm explaining so you can grasp and go, oh, wow, anarchism is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, for sure.
So on that note, we'll see you again. And yeah.
For sure.
Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, anti-theism, anti-religionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudohistory, pseudomorality, things that are found in religion.